Okay. We're
Not a
live.
single person clicked on it.
We're
Yeah, not a.
live now. So,
Yeah, no, I don't think a single person clicked on it. But like an hour after the stream was done, somebody was like, "Oh, are we gonna do a watch party on season 2 in general?" And I was like, "Oh, oh, I said it's a party. Like that's my bad."
It happens. It happens. Well, we're doing it. We're here.
We
Hopefully.
are, we are here.
Have you been enjoying taking your time going through this, or would you prefer if we did like one big stream?
Whew, I don't think I could mentally handle one big stream.
Okay, that's fair enough.
Like I'm so dead by the time that we're done each episode.
Oh,
Like I could keep going, right? But like I feel like my opinions would get scattered, and like my thoughts might just get scattered. I might just start like just shitting on the fucking show, like without realizing it, and be like, "Wait, guys, that's not what I actually think. I'm just tired."
that's fair enough. Well, hello, Julian. Hello,
Hello, Julian.
Veronova. I don't recognize you, but
Aw,
it's nice to see you. Oh,
King
well, hope you have
Julian
a
is
good.
leaving.
King Julian's leaving already? Oh, just saying hello. That's so sweet. I have so much to say though, so hopefully you come see what we said because this
Yeah,
is. Oh,
gotta watch the VOD.
hear this, okay? So, I was talking to Whipple, who's probably gonna make a guest appearance sometime during this episode, and if you watch that, so do you watch Esty that little sneak peek after the end of the arc?
Oh, there's a sneak peek after the end of the arc? No, I do
So
not.
after each arc, there's been like a little sneak peek. I haven't purposely not watched it, but if you see that, it could heavily influence what your theories would be because you can see a
Mm,
frame of something or someone. I should say. I'm keeping it vague,
mm.
but I have had theories that I felt confident in, but then I was talking to Whipple, and apparently there's a frame of someone. So
Got it. So if you start shitting on my theories about halfway through, I know you know something I don't. Understood.
listen, we might be giving out sneezes, okay?
Ooh,
It's
you're asking
1:30
for a
in the
lot.
morning in France and you have work. Okay, well take care.
Ooh.
I am it's 7:30 for me. So fortunately I'm in the past. I can chill, have time till work in the morning. Yes, if you
Oh,
do want to tune in, we're going to be talking about Arc 3 on Sunday at 6 EST time. 6 p.m.
yes.
EST time. So if you'd like to be part of that, because it will be, I'll probably be emotional. You know, we'll be.
For for reference, if you guys want to look up timings, it is or if you guys don't feel like looking up timings, it is currently 7:30 EST. So do that math.
Yes. Thank you, SD. I appreciate it. Alright, so I am. Yeah, we'll bring up our bingo cards too, see how we did at the end of everything.
We have bingo cards?
Oh, yeah, I have a bingo card. Do you have a bingo card?
No,
Oh.
I didn't know they were making bingo cards.
That's okay. Hello,
I
game.
I had I had my one bingo all across bingo all the way throughout the entire board was Seahawk.
Seahawk. Well, then you
Was
won.
Seahawk. I won. I got bingo.
Well,
I got bingo
congratulations.
first arc.
So, this is the last episode of Arc 2, and it is called The Message Hidden Within the Pattern. We also find out why it's called that at the very end.
Hello,
But
Jamie.
it's Jamie. Jamie. I recognize Jamie because of the dog. Like I've come to know Jamie's dog so well. I'd only assume that's Jamie's dog because otherwise,
We, otherwise, you just have a random picture of a dog,
yeah.
which I
Which
respect.
I could respect that, but still, it's like
We're
most,
assuming it's your dog.
yeah, assuming it's your dog. But I think SD left me in charge of this episode because just we wanted to do it that way. So I'm gonna be leading the discussion. But feel
Yeah.
free to type your chats because we like to read them. We like to have it to be more of a conversation if it can be that way. So, you ready to get going?
Yeah. Good night, King Julian.
Good night, King Julian. Oh my gosh, who's that little hamster from that movie? Because I love that like crazy
The
cracked out
Mort.
Mort. I love
The,
Mort.
the one I'm referencing, the one who goes King Julian.
Yeah, that's who I
Yeah,
am.
Mort. That's who you are.
I
That's
identify
who you
with that.
relate to on a spiritual level.
Yeah. Hello, Wolf.
Hello, Wolf.
Drive safe. You drive a lot, so make sure you drive
Yeah,
safe.
you do drive a lot.
You just said
Don't
doo
die.
doo.
No.
You just said doo doo.
Oh.
Ha
All
ha
right.
ha ha! I'm pointing my finger at you. Ha!
You got me.
Okay.
End the stream. We're done.
Okay. Don't test me. I will definitely do that. Okay. Okay. Let's get cooking. All right. All right. All right. So we're gonna do it in this way because I think it's helpful for the sake of conversation. We will be including spoilers. We're not gonna just do like uh strictly chronological for the sake of like not knowing what happened because there are things to talk about. Specifically, the very first thing that
I
we
was gonna
see.
say, yeah, the first scene that we see, because I didn't catch it the first. Well, obviously, I didn't catch it the first time because we didn't know the first time. But yeah, I watched like the when I was taking my notes for episode 5, I accidentally clicked on episode 6 and I started taking notes for this and I was like, wait a minute, this happened this
Yes.
episode?
So it opens up with a shot that doesn't really have any significance for us immediately. It's a shot
Mhm.
post Victor Blast. I just call it that.
Victor
We
Blast,
know at the end here that Jace shoots Victor, and
the Victor
his
Nuke.
his little orb thing gets kind of blown up in the top half, and the fragments are floating in time and space in this weird.
Which is neat.
It is neat. It's very neat. It feels. It's got that goo. It's got that goo on it. The same
The
goo.
goo,
The goo.
yeah, the pattern.
Yeah. So because we see this initial shot right away, first view through, first watch through doesn't necessarily make sense or have any significance, but then watching it again, you're like, oh. So and then we see also that Victor is witnessing Sallow's death in this first scene here from the perspective, like a spiritual, grand, almost like godlike perspective of Sallow. It's kind of creepy. Oh no, not creepy. It's cool, but creepy. It's like so. I
A
was
little.
curious because we know now what this whole thing is, right? We know what this whole explosion is, and we even
Mhm.
see the coin that falls at the very end of the episode as well. Do we
Mhm.
think we're already going to start theorizing? I hope that's okay.
That's okay.
Do we think that Victor is capable of like that he's kind of beyond time in a way? Like does this happen?
Yeah, this his whole astral form kind of is starting to make me think of him as a four-dimensional, like some type of four-dimensional being.
Cuz like if it starts off with this, it kind of
Mhm.
implies to me that maybe he could just go into another time space place and see things before they happen, or I don't know. You know what I mean?
So I don't know if that's the case. I don't think he can like travel through time,
Look, we see
but I.
here the whole him looking at it like this. Like I think I took this as Sallow's eye, kind of. This is what he was looking through.
Mhm.
Because yeah, I guess that was kind of the perspective we just saw. But this because he did take over Sallow's body and was like partially in Sallow's body
Yeah,
in a way, so maybe he was still kind of in there before he died.
yeah. The way I'm looking at Victor these days is more as this form is Victor, not his physical form.
Okay.
That's also why I very heavily have said in the Discord that I do not believe that Victor is dead. I have no evidence, I have no proof.
Mm-hmm.
But the more I look at this, the more I think that he's not dead at all whatsoever because I don't look at him as his physical form anymore. I don't. I like. There's no chance. Especially when he has this form, there's no way he won't exist
Mm-hmm.
like in some way and like within this form. Like the even if his physical body's gone, this astral plane or whatever will still exist and he'll still be here.
I like how he's a little cape in this astral plane.
Oh, he does have a little cave. That's so cute.
So the first lines are him kind of talking with the whole "this isn't Jace" thing. There's another work within him. I thought I heard something just before the portal closed, ancient, like a voice. This is a sophisticated conjuration. a singularity, simultaneously self-replicating and self-annihilating. We've never seen complexity like this. So it's, he's like flawless, exquisite. And then I made a specific note, specifically if you've been following along with my streams, which most of you have been, which is adorable. SD and I got in a whole debacle over whether or not the wild runes and this stuff counted as chaos or if it was just wild. And I used the word chaos, and SD was like, that's a little bit too flippant. You can't go around saying chaos like that. Well, I'll have you know, this Messiah, okay, said flawless, exquisite, and chaos. He said chaos. It's confirmed. It's canonical. So
I'm just saying my interpretation of
your
chaos.
interpretation was now factually, literally incorrect.
Factually, look, this is an objective. Not even objective truth. This is a subjective falsity from Victor's point of view. All right, I don't care how godly he is. I'm better.
I'm gonna trust Victor's interpretation of the Arcane more than yours because he's in it.
I mean, of the Arcane, sure, but not of the word chaos.
No, that's we're talking about.
I'm like 80% English major. All right.
We were talking about whether or not, if you hadn't seen it, me and SD were talking about whether or not the wild runes count as like a form of chaos, and yeah, it's just silly. So he said it, and I went, oh, can't wait to say SD, you're wrong.
Yeah, can't wait to shit on SD in episode 6.
Yeah. So basically, Victor is witnessing Salah's death, and then we have like this weird, the portal closed, and there's a voice. I think that's gonna be built more on in the last 3 episodes. I know, like, from lore experience, there's like the void, and there's portals in relation to that. So I couldn't particularly make sense of it though in regards to just what the show has told us. Have you?
No.
Okay.
I know nothing about the lore.
No. Without knowing anything from the lore.
Yeah, no, not really. I have lots of theories, but none about those.
Yeah, it's very interesting. Veternova points out in chat that it seems like Victor kind of allowed it to happen too. And I do remember having that thought. I remember thinking during it, clearly he has power. Like, he's capable of just going into someone else's body. I don't know, it also bleeds into what happens at the end, because arguably during that scene, it seems like he might have let that happen. So we will talk about that when we get there. But interesting opening scene on a rewatch, especially because we know that the floating bits of debris are from him getting blasted inside chest by Jace. So
yeah, it definitely creates a continuity question, a question of continuity.
Like time too, because I know a lot of people have been talking about time shenanigans, which I don't know.
There's a lot of maybe BS theories, maybe people holding out too much hope, but like we'll get to it once we get to those scenes about the timey-wimey stuff and like people's hopes for it.
Timey-wimey stuff. Sorry, okay. So we'll continue on. We have a nice little song. I thought it was interesting because some of the lyrics I noted during the song was, oh, I'm sorry. My bad.
Eric, do you think that he'll come back in 3 days?
Come back in 3 days? Oh, like the Messiah?
Yeah, he just said it might relate to the Jesus imagery on Victor has on how Jesus knew he was gonna die.
Oh, like maybe Victor knew he was gonna be betrayed by Jace?
Yeah, they may lean heavily into this, because I know people have been saying that Victor is like heavily related to Moses, specifically, like his entire plotline is like very heavily Moses inspired. So they might just lean full in and bring him to Jesus. Everybody calls him Arcane Jesus already, so.
Well, he's currently dead, ? Alright, we're gonna continue on. So our next scene, we have Ambessa and Caitlyn training, and we have this monologue from Ambessa about, I guess you could say, mostly her values, but her values kind of encompass and go down onto the Noxian values in general. Yeah. She says how strength is prioritized, vision is on the top of the triangle, and then what was the last one?
Guile,
thank you. So we see a little fight montage, kind of remind me of The Matrix, and Ambessa kicks her ass. Caitlyn has a kind of a rebuttal and says how like, well, she seems more dexterous than Ambessa, but she also
Yeah.
says using too much strength can leave you open to attack, like leave you vulnerable,
Mm-hmm.
exposes you to risk. So it
Yeah.
was interesting seeing their philosophies and values presented in this way.
Definitely strikes me as like a barbarian slash warrior fighting a rogue.
And yeah, I think I see that too. Actually, I thought it was an interesting character beat because we know what happens later on in regards to our big guy over here needing to
Rictus,
break
right?
this. Yeah, yeah, thank you, thank you. I only remember that because of my joke. Do you remember my joke?
I do not remember your joke.
You're gonna
Which
make
joke?
me repeat it. It was a bad
Yeah,
joke.
it
It
was a
was like
bad joke. That's absolutely. I'm gonna make you repeat it.
it was like he was gonna like he sounds like he'd rictus your ass, like something like
Oh.
that. Like you know, it just sounds like a verb to me, like a really violent verb. His name. Okay, whatever. Sorry, but
he
basically,
is he is a violent verb.
I liked what it showed for their character because it gave them like Mbessa training Caitlyn. Is something I don't think I see her doing it to everyone with everyone.
Yeah.
So when Rictus says this will be a deeper cut, we get that like moment later on. I think having this moment here between the two of them helped build that character connection. Whereas previously it was a lot of Mbessa's kind of just using Caitlyn as a pawn, and then having her train Caitlyn felt a bit more intimate than we had seen previously.
Yeah.
So for some reason people keep saying Rictus is gay, but that's like what do they have? Okay, I've seen the by the way.
What?
Oh no,
What
I
have
have
you
seen the
through
gay community be like the most excited over this show over any show I've ever seen. Like it is every character is gay, I swear. It's just that's
Okay,
what's happening.
Victor and Jace though. Come on.
See what I'm saying? He did blast a hole through his chest.
He did. That takes some dedication.
Alright, stop. I'm trying to get a real job one day. We gotta stop. Alright, so basically, there's this cute little moment. She's training Caitlyn. Caitlyn, she gets beaten, and then Caitlyn kind of still goes for more. And then Ambessa makes sure she understands who's in charge, which is Ambessa. Ambessa is definitely mommy. But then she says like there's a fourth principle that she's recently uncovered, and that's sacrifice. And I kind of wanted to talk about that briefly because it's an idea I've personally come to a revelation in my own life as well. She says the temper born of suffering, we understand it as others cannot. We are kin. So I think it's interesting given how much she values. Wait a second, did I see Wolf typing in chat up there?
Yeah, yeah.
Wolf?
I was hoping it was before Wolf was driving.
Wolf, you better be driving. But yeah, so the idea of sacrifice being like this fourth principle that she's discovered, I think speaks to what I've personally came to have a revelation of recently in my life, and how I feel like meaning is found within sacrifice. So hearing her say that, I was like, oh, I like that a lot. And I think for her character, it's interesting given how much she wants to protect family and how much she is willing to sacrifice for the protection of her family, but also like how little she like Loki kind of also is not willing to sacrifice a lot of things. So
Yeah. Uh, Albeit, I mean, she's not willing to sacrifice a lot of things because she doesn't want to sacrifice her family. She wants to protect her family.
yeah. And that's an interesting point that Chris pointed out in chat that maybe Ambessa is projecting her own daughter onto Kaylin.
Hmm.
But I liked this little moment. It was, and then we also see Kaylin kind of implement this later on when she tackles Vi. So
I
yeah,
would
then
say,
go ahead.
considering Ambessa's and Mel's kind of poor relationship. First of all, I'd be curious to see how Mel would have felt about this if she were around.
Like jealous.
Yeah, obviously, like we'll never get that because Caitlyn and Bessa are not on the greatest terms by the end of this episode, so we'll never really get that. But that would have been cool to see if Mel would have been like, "Oh, that's the daughter
Mhm.
that you never had, huh?" That would have been a nice. That would have been a cool little thing to throw in, like its own little side arc. But
I mean, if Mel comes back, if she's done with her shenanigans, we'll get some of that.
I don't think so. Not with how she treats. Not with Kate and Bess's relationship by the end of this episode.
I could so see things being Mel's gonna be so different. I see, you know how like Victor came out of the goo and he's just been like not really even Victor, almost like a whole different person.
Yeah.
I could so see Mel being like, I've unlocked this power and I now know who I am.
I am the prophet.
I'm the prophet.
Oh,
Go ahead.
did you see that, by the way? The whole discussion that we had about the Oculorum.
Yes, I read through some of it. We wanna
Okay.
tell chat or you?
Just basically about how the Oculorum was meant to seal away the false prophet or false prophets, and they kind of I think in that way supports my theory of it being a real place, because we kind of said like we kind of like maybe not agreed. I don't want to say, I don't want to speak for other people, but I interpret it as like it's meant to seal away false prophets, as in there's a test down there, and that test that Mel was like pressing the wall and like succeeding in, I guess, would be to say that she like would prove that she's a real prophet and not a false prophet. If you're a false prophet and you say that you're a prophet, you get put down there and you can't get out because you can't figure it out. But Mel is kind of naturally just figuring that shit out. So
Mel
I
doesn't
think it
think she's a
supports.
prophet though. Like no part
She
of
doesn't.
her.
No, no.
Yeah.
But I don't think that's necessary to be a prophet.
Yeah,
I
no,
think
I
that's
agree.
if anything that
It'd be weird to put
supports
someone in a prophet test pit though, if they were not proclaiming to be a prophet.
it. Yeah. But
All
like throwing Mel in there makes sense because they
right,
know that
Esty,
she
with all
has
due love and respect, cool, but we need to get on to this episode, or we're never
Whoa.
gonna get done.
Whoa. I think this is interesting.
I agree. Discord though, join our Discord. We'll talk about it. But right now, we have to talk about the magical symbols on the fire because we saw them on Rictus's staff before, and now they're on hot coals. So I was thinking maybe they need to be recharged or okay, so we know from the fight later on that he uses them against Jinx, but like they're currently off of his staff. He took them off and then he's gonna put them back on. So I don't know. Just a little note that it looks like they need some kind of something. Charge? Yeah, I was like hesitant to say charge.
Yeah, I genuinely wonder what these things exactly are.
I don't know. And like what
Yeah,
kind of symbol they makes me interested on the Shadow Isles. Kind of reminds me of their color. So
yeah,
yeah.
the Shadow Isles, of course.
Oh, Jamie had a little thought about the sacrifice thing. For an Arcane video, talked about how there's different types of sacrifice, and not all sacrifice is noble and beautiful. That's definitely interesting. Oh, it's Joke of all butts. Hello, I recognize you. Welcome back.
She does sacrifice quite.
Ooh, I like Fiction's idea. Cleansed. That could be it. Cleansed, like it's used up.
Yeah. That could. I think it kind of goes.
See, chat's cooking. They know what's going on. They know what's going on.
I think it goes in hand with what Jamie said too. Like it's if the stones are for warding off like potential magic, then burning them could be like cleansing them of the magic that they absorb. Cook, chat, cook.
Yes. All right. So we have Singe interrupt. He's like, sorry for interrupting, but I think I've tracked him, and I've tracked him to Zon. Actually, he doesn't even say he thinks. He's like, I've tracked him.
Yeah, I did it.
And I remember thinking like, how do you track him? Like, I just think the logistics in my brain were kind of confusing. But I guess you could have been like, modern day, we can put trackers in our puppies and cats, so I don't see why he couldn't have put a tracker in one of the most important things, especially because we were talking about why he might have done what he did. Like, it seems like he purposely wanted to get caught in all this, so maybe it was part of his plan. But his tracker's kind of funny looking. It's like a 2 vial thing with the green goo.
Shimmering contact.
Yeah, exactly. And then it kind of reminded me of a stopwatch, but we'll see later on how it looks and how it functions. So I'll hold off on that.
I kind of forget how it functions, so I'm excited to see that.
Yeah, I'll talk about it. Something I looked at closely. All right, our next scene. We're just moving along. This episode tries to get a lot done, and it has, I think, my favorite scene in the series, the season so far. So
Mm.
yes,
That's a big compliment.
I think so. It is a nice moment. You guys can probably already guess. But we have Vi, Jinx, and Warwick meeting Huck at the gates of the can I say the glorious evolution place? I'm not really sure what to call
The
this.
place of glorious evolution.
Yeah, it's the place of glorious evolution.
Kind of look at it as like a sanctuary.
Yeah, I think that's a great name for it. This is the sanctuary. So we have, I don't know if you guys have ever played Dark Souls 3, the DLC, but the way Warwick is looking when he's got this cape over him, he's kind of looks like Gale to me. Slave Knight Gale.
Yeah.
When he's walking around like he's gonna bust out and start hurting some people.
Yeah, I get that vibe.
Oh, the commune, that's what they call it. Thank you.
Another commune.
Yes. So I thought it was interesting to point out that they call him the Herald. If I know that apparently that's what he's called in the game as well.
Kind of a heavy name to live up to.
I looked up what it meant earlier, and it was an official messenger bringing news.
Yeah.
Or like a sign that something is about to happen.
Yeah, it's normally like the only reason I know what the Herald is because of Dragon Age Inquisition. You're called the Herald of Andraste in that game because everybody thinks that you are like a messenger from Andraste, who's like their big god. And you're meant to start the Inquisition and yada yada yada, like play the game. But yeah, and Victor definitely gives me that vibe as like God touched, meant to deliver this message unto his people.
He's a fitting name for sure, and apparently it's his name in the game. So the girls roll up to the gate and they're like, "Hey, we hear that there's a healer." They're pretty aggressive about it, all things considered. A little bit of attitude in regards to, I don't know, if you really think this person's a healer, maybe you don't want to be talking so nasty. But
yeah, well,
I think it makes sense because the last time she saw Huck, what did Huck do? So Huck
tried to turn in Caitlyn.
Huck did, Huck did, for the sake of Shimmer, because he was so addicted, gave away, important information in regards to Vi and Caitlyn's location. So she kind of does have that, I guess, tension within her of like, yeah, I'm here because I want to help my dad, but also fucking hate you. Yeah, fuck you,
Fuck you, Huck.
Calls him a filthy traitor. And then I loved his response. It was like someone genuinely taking full ownership. He says, "Yes, that was me at my worst. Simply awful. But the Herald has freed me of my past self. He's given me a chance to make amends." So, very spiritual language. Amends is, something that you hear in regards to religion a lot. But he's just kind of become like the gate man for the entirety of the commune, which I found interesting that he's the spokesman for who enters.
Yeah, I mean it makes sense though because he was like the first to be healed. I was gonna say first touched, and then that felt weird.
The first touched is also correct.
Yeah, it just felt weird coming out of my mouth.
But he's saying all are welcome, but you must surrender your weapons. So, I wrote down. Sorry, I'm still a little sick. I wrote down my first criticism that we can talk about. Esty and I don't talk about these things beforehand because we want to capture our natural conversation live for you guys, show you what it looks like if we agree or disagree. But I was quite confused and unhappy with Vi leaving her gloves on the ground in front of the commune. It makes sense if Vi wanted to take off her gloves and was like, okay, I understand, like, we have to go in without these, but to just put them down, well, not even put them down, just let them fall off, and not at any point in this episode, as we'll see several times, be concerned about their location, just kind of had me feeling like that's not what Vi would be. She understands through, and we understand too, that she knows the responsibility of having hex tech. Like
Hmm.
she's talked with Jace. She understands that this is a powerful weapon, and I'm sure she wouldn't just want anybody picking up these gloves. So, leaving them here for a very long period of time, with, as we know, the hex gems within them, still was just a level of, like, I just couldn't make sense of it. No amount of cope I could place made me
Yeah,
okay with that.
I was talking about this in the Discord a little earlier today, actually, and it was something that maybe is going to be a little controversial because I agree. That she, I don't see the point of her leaving them, other than to set up for Isha to steal the gems.
Correct, which that's not a valid enough reason.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Like I get it from the writing perspective, but only the writing perspective. Because otherwise, how are you going to set this up?
Well, it goes like, yeah, we need Aisha to get these. How do we get her
Yeah,
to get them?
exactly.
Yeah,
It's just Vi leaving them, but Vi in character, I don't think would leave her gauntlets. If she did, she understands what Hex Tech is and what those gems are, and I feel like she would have at least
same
taken the
way that
gems.
Jinx took out her gem,
Your
she would
gem,
have
yeah,
taken out her
absolutely.
gems. Especially since
Yeah.
she has had Jace and like she's had those conversations, or she's had that experience with Jace in regards to Hex. Like I just this was
Yeah.
not
And
in character for her.
back in season one, the whole reason that they were after Caitlyn was after Jinx was to get that gem back, or like at some point, like the whole
I
when
mean, she
she
knows the
saw that
damage it
Jinx
can
had
do.
the yeah,
She know
when
like
she saw that
yeah.
Jinx had it, she was so desperate to get it back. Like you would think, like we don't want to leave this in the hands of some people that we have no idea of, and that have completely like. Does she find it not like a little suspicious that Huck has completely changed his ways and that he's completely healed? Like I get it that he's a healer and that's why they're here and they want his help, but like
Immediately accepting the fact that he's completely different and better. It's not like,
yeah.
oh my gosh, what the heck?
Yeah, it's not like this is a little suspicious, especially Vi growing up in Zon. Like the way that and growing up in prison or like yeah, growing up in prison actually, yeah, 7 years.
Yeah, so
Like
like even
being
if in
you know,
theory she was like, okay, they're gonna put them somewhere, I don't think the idea of her trusting them entirely with such an important
hmm
power would be, again, like it's just so unwise of her, and it's not
yeah,
what she knows. So if she didn't know
yeah,
the power of these gauntlets, maybe I could see that being a thing, but
hmm
everything the show has established for her, it's just a matter of why would she immediately be okay with
yeah,
the trust, and especially your points I haven't
and
thought
like
about, because he does look so different.
yeah, he looks completely
Can you
different.
imagine, like in real life, like your best friend who's super sick, all of a sudden you see them again and they're like talking kind of transcendently and standing there
Yeah,
perfectly healed with these golden eyes glowing? Like,
yeah,
no way.
like there's no way. Like yeah, eye color has completely everything has changed. He has his markings all over his body. Like, and you're not even the slightest suspicious of this.
Yeah, I mean, at least ask if just the simple line of where you gonna put them, and he
Yeah.
says like, "Oh," and like a little shot of people moving weapons to like a locked or
Uh-huh.
like a warehouse or like a little just something. But
Mhm.
this being left here made, I think, a lot of people feel like this wasn't in
Yeah.
line. But
Yeah, and
you
I
can.
definitely understand
Sorry, go ahead.
like no, I definitely understand them like being so desperate to help Vander that they would totally do this. But I can't forgive
Like willing to trust and
the
go in. Yeah, I could see that.
yeah, but I just can't forgive her not taking the gems. That's the weirdest part to me.
Yeah, even if you want to say everything else, her not taking the gems
Yeah,
doesn't make sense.
yeah,
It's,
it's an
you know
odd
what it
thing.
is? It's extremely unresponsible. It is
Yeah,
monumentally unresponsible because she knows the damage that these can do. She knows that these whoever gets these has a lot of power. And she doesn't know who this healer is. Like she doesn't know the angle. It's kind of almost like she's
yeah,
tired and given up and goes whatever. Just
yeah. Just do it. Fix them.
you just at least interrogate a little bit before dropping them so fast, or take the, like you said, take the at least take the gems,
Yeah,
like Jinx does. So we know that's something
yeah.
that maybe she
That's
could.
allowed.
Yeah, but she probably also saw her sister pocket it and just
Exactly. Yeah.
didn't. No, I'm just gonna, mine's cool.
That's what, yeah, that's what I mean. Like she saw Jinx take her gem, so it's obviously allowed to take the gems, and they're not weapons on their own.
Yeah.
So
All right. Well, I'm glad that you seem to be on the same page, because I was nervous for that one, and I'm sure there's gonna be people that
yeah,
disagree. But I've
oh for
sincerely,
sure.
I've thought it through, but I don't think it's good on Vi's character. It is so unresponsible.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh yeah, so Jinx
I
poppers out, and then we have her just slap the gun onto Huck. And then I wanted to talk a little bit about this commune, if you're cool with that.
Yeah.
Oh, but and yes, I think it's already been alluded to, but Aisha takes out. It's a like we see a quick pan of Aisha seeing the gloves, and we see a very quick 2 seconds of them pocketing the gemstones in their little pouch, kind of like a very similar. We see it right here. By the way, I also noted. I don't know if this is a nitpick, but whatever. Aisha does this right in front of Vi as well. Like if you like, okay, I don't know if you've ever stolen anything as a kid. Like maybe a few cookies from the cookie jar. You don't pocket it right in front of your parent. You pocket that shit way before. There's a small thing, okay? Yeah. Like just not even like.
Yeah. When he runs in front of her to pocket it, and there's no way those things don't have a little glow to them.
So yeah, I was like, I would have pocketed them before I walked in front of the person's thing that I'm stealing, but it's okay.
But,
it's okay. So to talk about this commune, the imagery is very strong in regards to it being consistent with all of the other goo things, but also circular. And then there's a sense of harmony. Everybody's kind of wearing the same things. It's all light colors, whites and beiges, and it has plenty of food, specifically fruit. As someone who studies a lot of theology for fun, fruit is just so symbolic and seen a lot throughout cultures in regards to religion. So having in multiple instances Vi and Jinx eat fruit and then show an abundance of fruit was something that I thought, I guess, added again to that message and theme of this being kind of like a religious and very like a safe sanctuary kind of thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, what else? Oh yeah, we have Huck come up and says he's been expecting you. So I wanted to talk about that line, SD and Chad. If someone knows that you're coming, right? This is Victor. So let's think Victor in relation to Jinx, Vi, and Vander, right? He says he's been expecting you. What does that say to Victor's power level? Because he doesn't know these people.
Yeah, this is why I'm like, Victor has to be some type of fourth dimensional being at this point who can see
through time.
I definitely think it supports your theory of him being able to see the future. I mean, maybe it's just like an intuition sense kind of thing that he like, oh, these people will be coming with this giant beast man will be coming. Make sure to accept them, kind of thing.
A sense, but it's like that's way too specific. Still,
but it could not be exactly like future sight kind of thing. It could just be like a sixth sense of like, oh, I see in a vision that this beast man is coming. Like make sure I'm expecting him.
It's still a strong power for sure.
It is, it is for sure. Whatever this is for sure.
I think he says it again, right? He says it when Singed comes as well. I've been expecting you, so he's got some kind of power level in regards to at least being able to heavily predict the future.
Yeah, if not exactly see it, and if he can see it, then we have to kind of assume that this was part of the plan. Everything that we see is part of the plan.
Oh, if that's the theory we're going with, then everything would have to be part of the plan, including this.
Yeah, there's no way. Yeah, there's no way that he wouldn't know that Jace was gonna kill him.
Well, we'll get there.
No, I'm just saying. I'll just throw it out there.
So yeah, him being able to expect them speaks on the level of power that he has, which is a lot.
Chris does say he expects them because he saw them through Huck's eyes at the gate.
No, but like that's not what that line says, though.
Yeah, that says a lot more to me than. I mean, like maybe. Because like I have heard that in that sense of like, oh come on, he's expecting you.
Yeah, but like, you wouldn't say that if you see him through like that. That's different.
If you just saw him through Huck's eyes like a minute ago.
Correct.
I feel like they kind of know that at that point, you know. I feel like it has like a little bit of a deeper meaning than that.
We also have a bell, which is another religious icon. So they're really just trying to throw the.
Yeah, they're just chucking their.
Chucking them in. Why do we need a bell? I don't know. Oh, you know what? You know exactly what it is. The bell is for the Minecraft village. You need the Minecraft villagers.
Yeah, send them back to their houses.
Yeah, maybe he just has some kind of connection. All right.
They didn't use it too well.
No, they did not. Also, the construction of this town is quite sophisticated. Like, we have
Quite quick.
blacksmiths. Yes. We have people that are doing the food. We have flowers that are planted and pretty fully grown. So I was curious if this was all this, because we said it is a 6 month time span.
Mhm.
This is a lot to accomplish
Yeah,
in 6 months.
6 months.
Like, a
I'm
lot.
curious. I'm curious on first of all how quickly he was able to rush through healing people like over and over and over again,
Especially
right?
since we established with the dialogue that it takes something out of him.
Yeah, yeah. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm curious of like how quick he was able to do like what like how many people per day kind of thing. Second of all, is he picking and choosing these people? Because obviously he has very like he has skilled labor here. Like you need to know
Mm.
some agriculture, you need to know smithing, you need to know like all these different things. So like was he and especially the agriculture part of it, was
Mm-hmm.
he picking farmers initially to say, hey, like these people know about agriculture, let me pick them, let me get them first, they can start the farms, because like 6 months is not a ton of time,
It's
especially for
not.
agriculture.
Yeah, 'cause you could see they really do have an abundant amount of food,
Yeah,
which is different than what we've been seeing for Undercity so far. I don't
yeah,
know.
I'll say everywhere else.
And also, as someone who has a friend who studies architecture, they were telling me all about how building these circular things, like buildings and having these curves, would be absolutely hell.
And yeah, insane, absolutely nuts.
So
Because you have to be so precise so it doesn't collapse in on itself.
it's also just difficult because you have to bend metal to be
Yeah.
curved.
Yeah.
And then
Like I'm so curious of what these things are made out of.
and apparently curved metal is less. Apparently, like curvature is typically less stable too. So like
Mhm.
they were going. Listen, they were like very passionate about this architecture. They're like, it's pretty, but it wouldn't work like this. Da 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 da. I'm like, oh, okay, relax, relax. So
Yeah,
yes,
no, I'm so curious of like what the material they use is too.
it's cool. I mean, I'll take it. I'm not gonna. Listen, that was their spiel. I was just passing along the spiel to the
Yeah,
stream.
yeah, yeah.
So we also then see Victor's new look. He's so cute. I love Victor. There he is. He got longer hair. He's got like little bleached ends or white ends. A lot of the people that were
Yeah.
damaged seem to have little white
I
parts of the
say like
hair.
Huck definitely does. We saw that.
Yeah, most
I'm
people
sure you
throughout
do.
seem to as well.
Mhm.
And then we get this moment where he tests his healing ability on Vander slash Warwick and fails. I think fails is the same fair way to say it.
Yeah. He can't do it in one blow like he can everybody else. Vander's mind kind of seems to be locked behind Warwick.
Yes. And I found it super peculiar that he said the line, he is worth the risk. So Sky basically says, you told me once all systems have limits when he fails to heal him. And I also love the emotion in this moment here where Victor's kind of looking through him in a way that,
Mhm.
you know, Vander's eyes are just closed to us. He's not doing anything, nothing's happening here. But for Victor, he has some kind of he's still able to go deeper. He's got
Mhm.
that and like looking through, searching through, and then he morphs into the Warwick, the beast, and scares him away. Oh no.
Yeah, kicks him out.
Yeah, that could kicks him out's a good way to put it. But yeah, he says he's worth the risk. And I was curious why we think Victor thinks he's worth the risk.
Yeah, I'm curious if one, he just simply knows something that we don't. Obviously, I mean, like that's a pretty
Mm-hmm.
big theory, just because of what we've seen from Victor so far. The I've been expecting you line, how we kind of are starting to theorize that this might be all part of Victor's grand plan.
The
All
grand
this.
plan.
Um,
You seem genuinely taken aback though by that.
yeah, I'm curious if he knows how Warwick became this way,
I mean, I think
and
so
if
because he calls Jinx powder, which would imply he understands the
mhm.
history of Vander.
Yeah, so if that makes him empathize with what the situation is, like what Vander's situation is, who Vander is to these people, and like like how it could help them, and I
Mm-hmm.
mean really how powerful they are. as just figures. So it makes you really curious as to
I just
how
basically
much Victor
they have
knows.
not established Victor's power level yet. We just know it's
Yeah.
extraordinarily extreme. Like it is
Yeah.
a level of power that basically as a writer you can do anything you want with at this point. You can go,
Yeah.
I want this to happen, Victor can do it.
Yeah.
So I was kind of okay with the idea of him dying, but a lot of people are like, he's not dead. So
He's not that.
if he's not dead, then, we'll see. We'll see. I'm
He's
excited.
not
Members, tune in
that.
Sunday 6 EST. We'll be hot off the fresh off the
Episode
press.
7.
Yep. But I love this scene here. I didn't like Jinx in it, but if you take out Jinx, I liked it a lot.
I kind of enjoyed Jinx in this scene.
I know. I actually got to listen to SD watch this scene, and SD laughed at the jokes that Jinx makes in regards to the cookies, or like the, what is it, the metal
The
fortune cookie? Yeah.
Yeah.
And I remember when I watched this scene, I was like, what? Okay.
She was coming at your boy. Oh no.
No, it's not because she was coming at my boy. It's because I just
Uh-huh.
didn't. I didn't get the joke.
I mean, like, when we're looking at it in the sense of I was expecting you, can you not? Can you not see it?
Like I understood it the second time through, and
Yeah.
I just didn't find it that funny. I guess, but that was just me. But so Jinx is walking on the fountain. We sit down to have a moment, and I said, I love the moment of Victor calling Jinx powder, for he must know what that means. And I wanted to highlight the emotion on his face when he says the name. So I'm gonna play it out loud for everybody.
And the vision of Zone will do all in my power.
All in my power. Where is it at exactly? A little bit more.
Power.
Ooh, there it is. So yeah, I liked the subtlety of how he said Powder's name, and I also think we can see from his eyes and the way his head moves that he knew it was kind of a test of. Here, let's just play it out first.
Condition.
Looks like you got a couple.
Mm.
You have much to offer this commune, Powder.
Like he has a little inflection in his voice that goes up.
Yeah.
Like he know it's like almost like a tease. Is that fair to say?
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
He's definitely teasing her because I mean that's a dead name to her.
Eric said, "I'm gonna tell every Christian kid that Jesus looked like Victor." Yes, actually, I will. I think you know what
Yeah, we just start replacing the images of Jesus with Victor.
we should. But like that little moment where he says powder was like if you have problems with it, like the entirety of the show, whatever be it, be have you. The acting, the sound, and the eyes, all of that in this isolated moment, this little tease that Victor is doing Jinx's way was an effective and I'd say like almost. It's the first time, by the way, we hear Jinx called powder since everything. So since Vi, right? Vi has stopped calling her sister powder, which I mean, I wonder how Vi felt in this moment.
Yeah, so do we even go look at Vi during this? I don't think so.
I don't think so. We focus on Jinx's reaction. And then we get a cool little muffled voice when we're following the coin POV. By the way, this coin, we have a lot consistently.
Yeah.
We're seeing this coin in the beginning. This coin is. They're really trying to sell us on like the imagery of this coin and what it represents.
Yeah, this coin represents a lot because we can see this. If it's the same coin, we see it all the way back in season 1, I believe.
The blood coin?
No, the when they initially figure out, I don't know if it's the same coin because so correct me if I'm wrong, but when they initially get the Hextech gem working and they start floating in the air, Jace like flicks a little coin at Victor while they're floating in the air. And I'm pretty sure it's this little gear.
It is the same gear in regards to like it looks the same. I'm not sure if it's exactly the same.
I don't know if it's exactly the same, but yeah. But like even still, it's just that imagery.
It would make sense if it was the same.
Mm-hmm.
Like he's been holding on to it. Yeah, because I mean, think about it. That's like a moment that they would never forget. Yeah.
Yeah. That was their prime moment.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cog. We keep calling it a coin, but yeah, well, gear cog.
We're calling it a coin. Get out of here. You could so see some video game where you use that as a that's your currency.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Come on, they use bottle caps for Christ's sake.
Yeah, I'm just kidding. All right. So I said I love that moment when he uses her name. I guess I wish there was like a second or two after that where maybe we could have seen Vi's reaction to that. I would have enjoyed seeing Vi see, like, because she hasn't been calling her powder, and we know that too because of the visceral reaction Jinx has to being called powder.
Yeah.
But
especially somebody random calling her powder.
Yeah, she doesn't know him.
Yeah. And everybody, like, nobody knows her as powder other than Vi at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, yeah, really only Vi, right?
Who else would know? Caitlyn, maybe?
I would know that her name, that she used to go by powder, but, like, she only knows that through, like, she doesn't know, she's never called her powder, I guess is more. Like, who else would know her as powder? Like, know her as powder. They know her as Jinx.
But yeah, so she's not receptive to it though, and she's like,
yeah,
no, I'll stick to what I know, thanks. And then Victor says something. I'm gonna present how I feel about it, and then SD and chat, you're free to chat with me about it. But he says, my condition is that he must be restrained at night. I've seen the harm of which he is capable. And my question for you and for chat is, if he's seen what he's capable of, then why would he not want him? What would Night have to do with it? In regards to, he would then know that it's simply blood that does him in. So what difference does night or day make?
I'm assuming it's just people not having an eye on them. They don't want to have it, like, they don't feel like the watch guard kind of commune. Like, they feel like, like, if it's daytime, everybody kind of has their eye on them, like, passively. But if it's night, everybody's going to be asleep. They're not going to keep a watch guard up.
Listen, I hear you. I hear that. That's fair and fine. But if he hadn't said that line of, I've seen what he is capable of, the fact that he says that means that he's probably also seen that moment with the prison, like the Stillwater.
Yeah.
He would know that it wouldn't be a matter of watching. Like, I don't think once he got started there'd really be much you could do. So I thought it was kind of wacky to say just tie him up at night.
Does he know that it's blood related though? Would he know that?
Well, he says, my condition is that he's restrained at night. I've seen the harm of which he is capable.
Yeah. So, like, maybe he doesn't know why he gets like that. Why would he know that it's blood related? Why would he know he only freaks out when he smells blood?
Because he's seen it. So, like, I don't think.
Yeah, but does he see it through the same bloodlust eyes that Warwick is seeing them through, or does he just see it through the eye? Like, he doesn't.
So they've had him painted as the all-knowing. My all-knowing doesn't stop conveniently at, like, not that part.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just like
that's like you. That feels like me. In my opinion, that feels like you doing work for them.
Yeah.
Where I feel like this could have been simple with like another line or two of dialogue, and we would have been good.
Yeah.
But
I mean, I also feel like Victor is with him 90% of the day.
Yeah, that's true. He's with him a lot.
So, I mean, maybe that's also why, like, when I'm not with him kind of thing. But like when Victor's not with Warwick, tie him up kind of thing is more or less what he meant, but I don't know. That's also still doing work. It is an odd line. I do agree. But
okay, well, that was just my little point was like, why nighttime? If anything, maybe if he's truly actually seen everything he's capable of, he should kind of know that he's a really big threat at all points. Yeah. And he has yet to succeed in any regards at calming him. So if he's like, oh well, if as long as I'm watching him, everything's cool, that I don't know why he'd be so freaking confident, because he just failed, and he's like, well, as long as I'm around, that's cool. I don't know. I feel like if he cared about his people a lot, he'd be like, all right, I'll help this guy out, but he's gotta be locked 24/7, and
we gotta have an ankle bracelet on this man.
until I have some kind of control or can help in some regards. But
Yeah.
right now, Warwick is such a danger. If he has understood that, then
I was about to say this man almost tweaked on the way up to the palace.
tweaked on the way up to the palace. What do you mean?
When Warwick heard the blacksmith
Oh yeah,
drop
yeah.
the water, he tweaked a little bit.
And if he can see through Huck's eyes, he would have seen that. I don't know.
Yeah.
Just all knowing should know better than that. That's all I'm saying.
No, I agree.
Okay. Well, I do think it's fair point. Like nighttime, he's not watching him because maybe he's asleep. But also,
Yeah.
does Victor even need to sleep anymore? Like, he's
I doubt it.
like, does
do
he
any of
even
them
need to
sleep?
I don't know.
Because
Does-
I mean, we've all but confirmed that they're not really organic.
I don't know.
Like,
I guess we remember how I was like, oh, Jace is breathing, and then like
yeah.
we figured out like that actually the Sallow was probably not breathing.
Yeah.
So
And it would make a lot more sense on how Victor's able to manipulate the vocal cords.
and it
that
would make
way.
more sense on how they were able to build so much stuff if no one needed to
Yeah,
sleep.
nobody needs to sleep, or nobody needs to rest at that point.
Yeah.
They're all just working on pure Victor.
Okay, so then our next sequence is I'd say like a song sequence, like a montage kind of Victor helping helping. Oh, I did forget one small thing. It was Vi asking Jinx of her opinion, and Jinx was being surprised that Vi even cared.
Oh, I don't know if you noticed. I didn't notice it, but Ho Hum dropped the spoon in chat.
I saw
A
it.
little bit ago.
No
You didn't even
spoons.
mention it.
No spoons.
Wow.
Oh.
You hear this, Ho Hum? She's not
I
even
saw the
talking.
spoon, but I think you're in the middle of talking, so I was being kind. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you for the. We've been a cursed stream up to this point, ho hum. We needed the spoon, but thank you for the blessed spoon. So yeah, we get our little sequence of Victor trying to get through and make progress on, I'd say maybe pulling Vander out of this beast. Is that a fair way to put it?
Yeah.
And the imagery in which they painted the inside of Vander's / Warwick's psyche, I thoroughly enjoyed. Color choices as well as like how Vander was very deep underneath all of it in the depths of it. So yeah, it kind of reminded me of them going into hell, Dante's Inferno. They're just making slow progress each time. We have the Remember Me song playing, and then they finally get to the depths. We see Vander, what you can assume is like the interpretation of him, yeah, his soul, his humanity. You could call it that too. At the very bottom. In contrast, he's like a blue, and then everything else is red. And once they get to there, we get, I think, my favorite scene. It's the watercolor scene with the Remember Me song playing a little bit differently now. Such a strong.
Yeah, this entire thing was very cute. Gave us our reprieve that we've been looking for so much.
It was a nice reprieve. It built on his character. Okay, so many thoughts on this. So if you want to go first, so I can take a drink of water, and then I will share mine afterwards.
I have to remember exactly what was a part of this scene.
It was just the watercolor of their life, especially from Vander's perspective.
I mean, other than it just being a very cute scene, I just absolutely love this scene. I don't know if I have many like deep thoughts about it.
No worries, I'll talk about my little deep thoughts. So, as my favorite scene, I'd like to chat about it for a moment. I talked with some people, and this was not actually, surprisingly, real watercolor. Because knowing Ortiz, I thought maybe they had done it in real life, like frame by frame. But it was still talent nonetheless. They did it on the computer. But yeah, it's convincing. It looks convincing watercolor. I liked watercolor too because there's kind of like a nostalgia and a lightness in that art style that came across to me, and wrote down that um oh, I said go on rant about needing light to add the dark, needing that contrast. Yeah, so I think if you've been following my little arcane journey, then you know that I freaking beg the Fortiche gods for a reprieve. And meaning just a moment of lightness to air out the dark and all of this like heavy weight that they're carrying around. And there's nothing particularly wrong with having a show or movie that is submerged in a dark, deep theme and having one moment after another moment that is like trauma after trauma after trauma or something like that. But having even a singular moment of something lighter allows that grief and that pain and that hardship to hit that much harder and be heavy as you want it to be. Whereas when you're constantly kind of surrounded in that, I'd say, I guess, negative place, it can kind of become monotone or numb. Like, just become like a little bit dissociated to the level of suffering that is, or the level of grief or sorrow that is. So when we have this really beautiful light moment here with like a white background and watercolors and all of these fun memories with their family, you know, with their mom bringing home vice versa gauntlets and them making soup together and doing their hair and all of this stuff. It allows us to know what I guess what is lost, right? Like why we are grieving to begin with. I thought it was touching on how like we kind of lose our. I'm sorry, this really moved me, so I'm gonna go on for a second.
Oh, wow.
Okay. But I thought it was really touching on how we can lose ourselves, and it kind of made me reflect on Vander slash Warwick as a literary device in general. And I feel like he's kind of the embodiment of how we forget what's important or how we can like lose sight of what is at the roots of everything of what we do and like what started everything to begin with, what's at the core of our person. And honestly, I feel like he could be the embodiment of how we become monsters to protect the things that we love so much. And then like this is at the base of everything. And like seeing that, having this moment within the show that tends to typically be a bit heavier, was felt nice. I could take a second to have a lighter load on the back, but that means when you put the load back on, it feels worse. You know what I mean? Like, you know how some people who go for a run tend not to like to take breaks because once they stop running, it's harder to keep going. Or like when people are pregnant, you ever see those fathers that lift up the stomach for them and it feels nice and like a nice relaxing moment, but then eventually they have to let that weight back down. That's all I'm trying to say in terms of a story. Having this was enjoyable for the viewers. It builds character, and when you go to have that sucker punch, that 1-2, it'll make your audience that much more upset. So yeah, that's my little thing. I loved it a lot. Oh, and then there was one nitpick. Small nitpick. They measured Vi with the top of the book.
Top of the book. Yeah, I said the same thing. I was like, why are we measuring from the top? We're giving her extra inches here, making her feel good about herself.
Yeah, I mean,
but no, that's a very beautiful way of looking at it.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, I loved it. It made me happy. It felt like they captured childhood in a way that watercolor and this song too, right, is constantly saying "Remember me." So it's like speaking on how Vander's trying to kind of like remember himself, come out of this beast. Like, Victor's trying to help him find that, but also remember me as in the whole past and everything that's happened. So I loved it.
The thing that Vander was willing to do just to protect these two kids, and we get to see the core reason as to why.
Yeah.
Between last episode and this episode, especially.
Like this in isolation, I don't know how you couldn't like this watercolor scene.
Yeah, absolutely.
We even see young
It's so
Silco. Yeah, it's just all around. I don't understand. Like this has to be a moment where you go, "This is nice." But yeah, they just nice little moments. So hopefully you guys liked it too. Oh, and then we like fade into it at like the tombstone, which is not a tombstone, which is like a pillar slash.
Yeah.
What is this?
Um. I,
Like, why is this right here? Is all I was curious of.
yeah. Well, I mean, it makes sense actually when you think about it, because
Yeah, tell me.
remember,
I can't think about it for some reason.
so back in season 1 when Kate and Vi were down here,
Mm-hmm.
if you remember, wherever this
So is this the same build? Oh my god, this is what the
Yes.
building was then.
Yes, this is
Okay.
exactly where so that giant arch thing or whatever that is, where Victor healed Huck initially,
Yeah.
was the same spot, I believe, the same spot that Huck turned in Caitlin and Vi, which was the same spot that they used to live in back when they were kids.
Mm.
So this is Jinx and Vi's home.
Yeah.
This area is their old home when they were children.
Yeah, because I remember when Caitlin was healing Vi up, we saw these lines very quickly, but we did see these lines on the pillar, the wall.
Yeah, so this is, I believe, the pillar that Vi knocked down. Then, one of them.
Wow, so they did plant a lot of flowers.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, a lot of flowers. But yeah, this entire area is just Jinx and Vi's old home, like when they were young children.
It must be interesting seeing their old home, which was full of such poverty, being turned into a place like this, a sanctuary.
Yeah.
Ooh. Okay. Must be heavy a bit. I would like
Yeah.
some dialogue on that, no?
Yeah, I know. We don't even talk about it. Like,
No, it should be so talked
but
about.
We don't talk about it.
Because like this we just pieced it together, but like this is their old home and they've
Yeah.
realized that right now. It should be
Yeah.
like, wow, look what's possible if like or maybe a reflection on what their home used to be.
Yeah, it would have been nice to get that little bit of dialogue from them.
Yeah.
But yeah, they don't even acknowledge that it's their old home at all. Like Caitlyn acknowledges it back in season 1, and she's like, "Whoa, you used to live here," and like that's the only thing that we get about this place.
It could help bond them together too more because we are going for that with the whole like I miss how she smells. Thing.
Yeah.
Oh, what is it? Oh wait, that's later on. Okay, note for later on.
Oh, okay.
Note for later on. I don't really have much else to talk about here, but like they say how their mother smelled like axle grease at the same time, and they both kind of reflect on how it might be possible to help this place out. But you know, the whole bonding thing, they're just getting closer as sisters. I'm kind of just saying how it is because honestly, I'm not still fully convinced that they would be getting along like this, so my brain is in like two completely different places when I watch because I'm enjoying it on an emotional level, but then like there's a little voice in the back of my head that's like, that doesn't really feel like it's making sense, and I'm like, it's okay, shut up. So unless you have anything to say, I'm just gonna keep going.
Oh, keep going. You got it.
Okay.
I was also just reading chat during that. Chris just pointed out that he noticed the parallel between Caitlyn bringing Vi here to heal, and now Jinx and Vi bringing Vander here to heal.
Oh,
Which is a cute little parallel.
it is very cute. I just know they're getting along really, really fast. They're just super. We're getting along. But all of that good stuff comes to a quick. And this is what I'm saying. I feel like a lot of people were really not happy right now when we realized they're coming because we just had such a nice reprieve.
Yeah. They're just like, hey, by the way, yeah, they're still getting tracked down by this man right here.
Well, yeah, and like Noxian is just, we're known that they're gonna be ruthless. And let me play for you to show you how my interpretation of how Singe's device works. Let me play the sound as well.
I'm looking at it now and it's so odd.
It is an odd device. Again, it's just gonna be my general gist on how it works. But you can hear that it kind of has like a heartbeat consistency, and it has a little bit of blood mixed in with the Chemtech goo. So I feel like it's using part of his blood.
Yeah.
And like
sure.
it is mimicking the heartbeat of Warwick to track him down.
Yeah, I don't get it.
I also don't get it, but that's my best pieces that I could put together for you.
Yeah, I just don't get how the blood is.
Oh yeah, actually,
how their blood is so synced because it's his blood.
I don't know. I can't tell you, but I thought it was cool that it sounded like heartbeat. That's all I got.
That's cool.
That's all I got.
No idea how this thing works. It's pretty cool though.
I'll
leave it at that.
I'm not
gonna nitpick it because he knows things that I don't.
I want to add on to Tevin because I do think Echo did show and share with Vi the intimacy of that like tree place, right? The sanctuary that they had built. It'd be interesting the fact that Vi is seeing this sanctuary and not being like, we should go try to tell Echo and the Firelights about this beautiful place because this is what they were trying to accomplish too, you know?
Yeah.
They just haven't come up.
I would say, when's the last time that Vi even thought about them? Anybody, really?
When's the last time Vi thought? That's what I want to know.
Yeah, genuinely. I mean, when's the last time Vi thought? Well, let's be real here.
I don't know.
But yeah, like
leaving the gloves at the gates with the hex gems in them.
That I can only excuse her not bringing up Echo just because she's so focused on Vander and Jinx at this point. But yeah, it definitely could have been again something cool to have brought up. Like, there's so many cool things they could have just talked about.
I don't know. Like, I feel like in a high stress situation, to say like you can only think towards one thing isn't necessarily fair.
No, I'm just saying like her life has gone from what was going on with like becoming an enforcer, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then working with only Caitlyn and basically abandoning everybody else from her old life and working strictly with Caitlyn. Then Caitlyn abandoning her, and then her and Shield Dude going to just start boxing for 6 months, and just her being an alcoholic for those 6 months.
Maybe the alcohol destroyed her brain.
yeah. And now she's just like she's thrown back in with Jinx all of a sudden, and like I could get that not being in the forefront of her mind. But again, yeah, it would have been something very cool for them to bring up. A lot of things that like Vi specifically.
But also, like, what would Vander, like, the idea of her father bring up for her as well? Like, her father stood for a different kind of Zon than what is there now. So I feel like that would also flush to mind, like, damn, I really gave up on all of these other ideas of helping people. So I don't know. It's
we never get.
What do we not get? What do we not get?
We never ever get Vi just sitting down and thinking about her goddamn feelings. That's all I want. That's all I want. Like, she has so many thoughts. I know she does. I know she has so many thoughts about her own feelings that she just doesn't talk about. She needs to talk about them. With anybody. With herself.
With herself?
Yeah, I just want Vi sitting down and reflecting. That's all I want. That's all I want.
But you're not gonna get it.
I'm not gonna get it. I know I'm not gonna get it. We got 3 more episodes and I'm not getting that.
Okay, continuing on. I said the imagery here is strong because it's showcasing quite literally one versus many Noxian soldiers. However, when we go along like the whole hive mind idea of what this glorious evolution is, I don't really think it is just one guy. I would say the more powerful side is this side.
Huck.
Is Huck. Huck can take him on.
True. Yeah, Huck could single-handedly take down this whole fucking army. No shot.
He could do it all.
Huck is actually multiversal.
Yeah. Huck could do it, I believe. So I like this imagery because even though it's just one versus many, it's like also the idea, I think, if you are any believer of any religion, how you can often feel alone against people who would disagree or be very ready and quick to kill you for it. So it goes right along the lines of that kind of symbolism and thematic ideas. But at the next point, they said no weapons, yeah, right? No weapons. However, would Ambessa really make this choice? Would she really be this trusting in Singed? Was my question for you, SD.
I mean, like, unless she knows something that we don't. I mean, like, I guess seeing what Warwick could do. It's like I feel like it's like people seeing like the gun for the first time or like a nuke for the first time, right? Like you see this weapon that's so powerful that like you've never seen anything like it and that could probably single-handedly take down armies, right? And which I mean we see Warwick even being flooded by Noxians later on is still murdering them. And we don't know if he made it out yet. Like that kind of weaponry, yeah. I could see her trusting I could
Trusting
see her
Singe?
I could see her sending Rictus in with Singed.
Hmm.
But yeah, I could see her trusting Singed enough to get that weapon.
Sorry. Okay. Hmm. Well, Singe
I
intervenes.
think
He's like, "If
it's
I may, I believe this herald may be a former pupil of mine, a man of science. Let me speak with him." So, I was curious. I mean, I think this is just an overlook on my part. I really don't think this is the story, but I personally couldn't understand how Singed knew it was Victor. I was just curious if you caught along. Like, I have rewatched it, but I also still
I
can't
mean
figure that part out.
this has been going on for 6 months, right? Victor's
But
been
they've
healing
never
people.
seen.
Seen, but they could have heard passing.
Okay.
I mean, we assume a lot about Singe and knowing things, so I mean, this wouldn't be too far out. I mean, like I could see people knowing that it's Victor though. Albeit, dude, I mean,
I just didn't know how he knew it was Victor. And then also
yeah,
we're gonna get there in literally a second. Um there's a lot of dialogue in regards to how he knows things about Victor that I was confused about. So let's just keep going.
okay,
But that was my question for you. I was just curious if you thought. Also,
yeah.
I noted I didn't see Vi's gloves, so I guess they had to have been moved. But again, why would Vi not be like,
Oh,
"Hey,
for
where
sure.
the frick did you move my gloves to?"
Well, we see. I think we see where it got moved to
Where do
because
we?
Jinx steals her gun back, and I assume it's probably in the same spot, right?
Oh, okay. Yeah, well, yell at me to pause it when we see that.
Yeah.
But yeah, so she's okay with that. She sends in Singed. I remember being like, I think she would at least send in one of her men with Singed. I don't think she'd let Singed go in completely alone. But to each their own.
Yeah. Well, he goes in with Rictus, right? Or no, he just go in by himself?
He's talking with Victor alone at the very least.
Oh, he does, doesn't he?
Yes.
I for some reason I thought that he went in with Rictus.
Rictus is in there later. With
Yeah, later, but
yeah.
not now.
I don't think right now. He hangs.
Oh yeah, he does just go by
He
himself.
hangs back.
I mean, to her maybe it's a test of loyalty, but yeah, I now that my I guess I had a misconstrued vision of the scene, and he's not going in with Rick, or he's not going in with Rictus. It kind of makes me a little more concerned on how she let this go.
Well, she just met this man.
Yeah,
I don't
and
know.
like kind of forced him into loyalty,
And he
and like
was
his loyalty
imprisoned.
doesn't
Yeah,
exactly.
forced him
Yeah,
into loyalty. He was in prison. He
yeah,
makes
and
a
he doesn't
deal.
exactly.
Now he's going right back to where he had his very cool weapon thing. Like he could so just activate that shit again, you know?
Actually, I'm not gonna lie.
Lie.
She kind of has him by the balls. No,
Has him by the balls. I mean, I'm saying
she
I think
she
she
you know
has him by the
she,
balls up to the point where he has control of his weaponry again. Do you know what I mean?
ah man, not really. The only reason I disagree is because she knows where his daughter is, and
Now,
that
oh yeah,
just
why do you
that
think he
incited
like displayed such a hand?
yeah, I don't know. I really don't. I don't understand why he was so trusting to show them that.
Hmm.
Like he did not have to do all that.
Show
But like,
Caitlyn too. Caitlyn's like, you're gonna
yeah, show
rot
Caitlyn.
forever.
Yeah, like so, like, but like she knows where his daughter is, and that thought in his head alone, I think to her is enough to say, all right, he's not gonna betray me. Because like if he does, he knows what's gonna happen.
hmm
So I mean, maybe that thought of mine.
I know where your daughter's at, so don't. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, like, we know as an audience member each of these characters' intentions, so I think we know that no betraying's gonna occur. I just don't like to assume that, like, from Mbessa's POV, especially because she's like a
Yeah.
warmongering, strategic character. But yeah, so let's break down the dialogue between Singed and Victor because they have a long history. Victor was a little boy when he first met Singed.
Yeah. And I saw him. Well, actually, he's kind of the reason that Victor's like this now.
A little bit.
A little bit.
Okay.
A little bit.
A little bit. So Singed walks in and just announces himself with the line, "You felt it, haven't you? Your decline." He says, "Your power is finite, diminished by every use." So, chat, help me out. But
You know a lot about
how
this.
the
I
fuck
didn't think
does
about
Singed
this.
know this? Like, this is like Hex Core mixed with Shimmer mixed with Victor. Like, it's how would he understand or know what the heck is happening with Victor?
Yeah, I could see him like understanding this if he was like if it was strictly Shimmer. You know, like
Mm-hmm.
he's tried these things before, but like he's never tried anything with the Arcane, at least not in the way that Hextech has done it. And like he hasn't seen the tree or anything like that. He hasn't seen the effect that it has on plants. He hasn't seen any of this. How the hell does he know this?
Again, I could just be making a oversight,
No,
but
no, I don't think you are.
to me that line felt so for me as an audience member, but I just had no idea how Singed would know that this. First off, why would you assume that if all of these people are healed? Like, you're walking through this city, this little commune, and you're seeing the insane amount of power that Victor seems to have had on this place. All of these things that he's been able to do, like magically heal people. Why would you assume that he's been in decline? Like, I don't think there's evidence of him being in decline.
Yeah, yeah, there's no real evidence of it. And like this felt more like just exposition for us as the viewers
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. I agree.
than it feels like actual story that Singe would know. Cause like and like I see Hoham said like Singe must have been keeping an eye on what goes on here. And like
Mm-hmm.
we also like said that about the episode 4 when he showed up to the meeting and everything. How the hell is Singe doing this?
He's got
Like,
inside men.
yeah, like I like we would have to do so much work for Singe because Singe would at that point have to be like this mastermind of
For
the
real.
underground. Like he would have to have his own like little private eyes going around because like when does he have time for all this? He's constantly doing research on how to fix his daughter. I can understand him keeping an eye on it every now and then, like keeping an eye on rumors and things like that, especially about the Herald who can heal people.
Mm-hmm.
But like and maybe that's why because like he looked down maybe he looked at Victor as like an avenue to heal his daughter even and like somehow figured out all this but like that's doing a lot of legwork for him and like I just don't understand how he would have gotten this information.
Yeah, so I agree with like the ideas and chat around he studied it and all that because it makes sense 100% that he would study it. However, I don't think it would make sense for him to know exactly that Victor's been feeling the decline. Like right now, in this point in time, that Victor's been feeling the decline, like that.
Yeah.
So like I'm okay. Maybe he literally just walked in and saw it.
Yeah.
Like maybe he like walked in and saw this little moment of him holding his wrist and like decided to say it. But he says your power is finite, diminished by every use. So it like alludes to me he has like a grander understanding of hex like I don't even know if why would Jace be so hard strung on killing Victor if eventually he would run out? Do you know what I mean? Like there's like, just questions that would arise if how too many questions.
Yeah, I mean and also like I could point fingers on how we could deduce it, right? That he's finite and all this.
Mm-hmm.
Especially with Sallow going to the core to get all that stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
To get that energy and maybe trying to refuel Victor.
Yes,
But,
I
like,
agree.
Still, how first? Just I mean, how would Sage know? But like, Yeah, I don't
Educated
know.
guess. I'll go with educated scientific guess from maybe he's just trying to sound smart, you know?
Yeah, I was like maybe it's one of those.
Intimidation.
Oh, I didn't know, but you just told
Yeah,
me.
I didn't know, but you just told me kind of thing.
But like like I don't know. It's just
So like I'm not trying to be
very.
bad faith towards it, but I feel like I genuinely I love okay, maybe you'll understand how I'm feeling. I really appreciate when a movie or TV show trusts me to do a lot of the legwork. I don't want to be
Mhm.
told everything. However, I feel like Arcane has been telling me that I need to make assumptions and
Yeah,
connections that are like no, you
way
should have
out
showed
there.
me. You should have showed me some of this. Like, I'm
Yeah,
fine with making connections and assumptions or connections and stuff on my own. Like, I want to do that. I enjoy doing that. That is
yeah,
rewarding for your viewer when you let them do that work. But it's like every scene, I'm now going like, well, okay,
yeah.
this is from this and that from this, and sometimes I have to have rewatched it. There are some things that I've simply not been able to catch on the first watch through where I go, is it an effective piece of art media if I have to rewatch it to understand the main idea that you were trying to get across?
Well, not even that. It's just like it comes to a certain point where it feels less like we're doing legwork to explain it with actual explanation and more legwork to bullshit it almost to say like yeah
Whoa.
this could be what happens here and this could like he could know because he could have been doing this but like we have no evidence
I
you
think that's
know
just a good it's just taking it on good faith, I think. And they did
yeah
do such a like memorable great season
well
1 that I can understand taking it on good faith is the thing.
yeah and like I'm reading some of the chat notes as well about Victor giving him his notes about hex tech and everything.
Mhm.
My only argument to that is we're still doing a ton of legwork because Victor didn't know that this would happen. Jace didn't know that this would happen. Nobody knew that this would happen when all of this combined and got infused into a person who was
Yeah.
on the brink of death.
Yeah.
This is completely new that nobody could have researched or even thought to have researched. So
Yeah.
no amount of research on the hex core, I think, could have led to any of these conclusions.
That's a good point.
Yeah, I just like I feel like we're doing a lot.
That's what we wanted, I guess. I don't know. Okay, well, thank you for indulging me with that because I was this
Yeah.
whole dialogue exchange between them is also there's a little bit more too.
Mhm.
So I like the fact that when he touches Victor, Victor's able to see what's the real motivator for Singed being here. Like he very quickly can cut through all the noise, all of the whatever bullshit might be going
Yeah.
on, and he understands that the reason Singed is here is motivated by wanting to save his daughter. We get a little bedtime story that he was reading him, which you can break down and find hidden or thematic reasons for why the show chose to say those lines. The bedtime stories lines are his quest led him astray of any trodden path. His own shadow dissolved to darkness. Now the only course was forward. The only warmth, a dream of her waltz. So it kind of to me was like him almost talking about his own life, and like the last line especially was imagining his daughter better again was the thing keeping him motivated.
Mhm.
So and then we get the fun line. It's I feel like I've heard this from multiple pieces of media before, but maybe it was new for you, so maybe it was a fun new idea. But the idea that knowledge is a paradox, the more one understands, the more one realizes the vastness of his ignorance.
Yeah. And
So
that's something I heavily related to in the past couple years
mm,
of my own life.
as you get older, that'll probably happen to you.
Yeah, because I just growing up, I think you kind of get that idea in your head that there's so little that you know and understand, and like every time that you go out and you learn a new thing, you understand that you had a complete misconception about that thing. Like you don't really understand anything until you've experienced it yourself and you have your own like stake in it.
Or you did understand it, but it was only 2% of it, and there's
Yeah,
98%. Or maybe you don't even know how many percentages you know of it
yeah.
that you just can't even
It's just
imagine to imagine.
everything, every experience in your life is just such a vast thing that you could look so deeply into and pull so much more out from.
but you're gonna die, so no time.
Yeah.
Okay.
You
No,
know.
no.
Not
sorry.
not everyone. Not everyone. Hold
Oh.
on. Do you not see what Singe is working at?
Sorry. Yeah, so basically Sin just like, hey, this is a marvelous specimen, isn't it? The General Grievous is back! Yay!
Hello, General
Hello,
Grievous.
General Grievous. Welcome back. Okay, continuing on. Oh, General Grievous will be streaming our reactions, or we'll be talking about the next episode Sunday at 6 EST. So join us for that. Alrighty. Just gonna plug that here next. We're so excited, it's gonna be the end. So excited, but it's the end. No, it's not the end.
I mean, it's either Arcane.
Okay. Continuing on. It's like marvelous specimen, isn't he? The regenerative qualities of his blood will stabilize you. Apex Shimmer, combined with you, the apex form of Hex Tech. So, I think what he's implying is that Victor could maybe live forever? Kind of?
Yeah. Become God.
Make him God. Yeah, pretty much permanently. And then Victor points out that doing that would kill him. And what for? You know? What intention for? And then Singe, I don't think he's being entirely honest here. He says, to complete your work, right? I feel like, yeah, part of it is definitely because he is a scientist and he is motivated by just seeing progress. But I do think part of it is helping his daughter.
Yeah, for sure.
I think we get that reaffirmed with the imagery of Victor seeing his daughter when he's talking about that.
Yeah, I mean, to complete your work, I mean, are they trying to hint that Victor and Singe's work are one and the same?
It's one of the same things, but maybe a little bit like, to different ends.
Yeah, I mean, are they necessary? I mean,
Yeah, definitely different because
different purposes, but to different ends.
Well, I think because they talk. Well, here, let's talk about their dialogue, right? So, Singe says to Victor, "You must survive, Victor." And when he's saying that, we see the shot of him, touching Vander, but to us, it appears as his daughter, and I think that's Victor's POV because that's what we understand is his true motivation. But then he says, "Do you believe in fate, Doctor? Our paths carved before us, guided by an invisible hand?" And he says, not fate, evolution, nature's greatest force forever in flux. And then Victor responds with, no, evolution has a destination, not to combat nature, but to supersede it, a final, glorious evolution. My bad. Glorious evolution. So maybe they're both kind of using the same tool, but it seems like they want to get to a different place.
Yeah, that's what I mean by same end, different purpose. I think I agree with that because I think at the end of the day, I mean, Singe may want him to go through with this whole kill Vander thing, make yourself immortal thing, so that he can heal his daughter and maybe permanently heal his daughter. In that way, I have no idea what he thinks the end result of Victor doing this would be, but like maybe he doesn't trust whatever Victor's doing, or yeah, whatever Victor's doing now.
Sorry. You know, it's actually interesting that he's seen all these people healed, or at least knows about it somehow, and then like walk through it and hasn't been like, "Yo, can you fucking come to my daughter right now?" You know what I mean?
Well, like that's my thing. Like maybe he doesn't trust it now. Maybe he knows something that we don't, based off everything that he knows about the finite power, that this is bound to end, that this is temporary. And if he gets this apex shimmer, quote unquote, however he knows about it, or however he knows about all this, like ignore all that. Let's just say he gets this apex shimmer and he becomes he's able to finish his work, right? He's able to stay alive permanently and keep all of these other people alive. And then he can heal his daughter because there's no good night. What's it to ya?
No, it's game. He's going good night.
Oh, good night, game. Sorry, wrong person. Good morning. What's it to ya? But maybe Victor is, or maybe Singe is like hinging on if Victor becomes this immortal god, then he can heal my daughter. Then I trust it.
Okay.
Rather than like he can do it now, because if he does it now, his power's finite. My daughter will eventually die again.
Yeah, I could see that. Because he does say, but I assume you understand already, if you perish, this community is soon to follow. So, that would kind of imply that he has a natural understanding already, too, of...
Yeah.
I wonder if he knew literally that they'd perish. Like, I wonder
Yeah.
if he knew that, or if he thought, like... Because I took it as... I did not take it as literal. I took it as...
Yeah, neither did I.
Like, the cult, like, following would subside, and... Yeah.
Yeah, without your leadership, they will perish, kind of thing.
Yeah,
Like,
without the
no,
figure. Without the
without
Messiah
you
figure.
physically here, they're all gonna die immediately.
Oh, I'm getting sicker. No. It's okay. I'll hang in there. I must hang in there for the last arc.
Yeah, please.
I need to know what happens. But
we're only not even halfway through the episode.
no, I'm saying I need to make it at least to next week, and then I can die.
I know. I'm saying, like, we're barely halfway through this episode, and you're on the precipice. The precipice.
The precipice. The precipice.
I had to use. I couldn't use the smaller word. I had to use the bigger one.
Aw, Game Snatch, you're so cute! Game Snatch is so cute. You know what? SD Game Snatch gets one sneeze.
One sneeze,
One
personally.
sneeze. Personal
One
sneeze.
sneeze.
You can use it at any time that you would like. Anytime. Alrighty. To finish up the scene, Victor is like, nope, I'm not going to sacrifice his humanity. And Singe is like, alright. And then he gets out of the place. So that's how that goes.
He's like, alright, see ya.
Yeah, alright, see ya. Like, we just exchange some words, and that's how that'll be.
Gets
Alright.
absolutely nothing out of it. Does not get his machine back.
He does not get his machine back. Because he knows what he's got. And he is smart. He seems to know what's going on. So that means he's gotta know that Victor knows the Noxians are there? Right?
Yeah.
So,
I would hope. I would assume based off Huck seeing them. Kind
yeah,
how
because it also felt kind of threatening to me when he said, very well, but I assume you understand already, if you perish, this community is soon to follow. That it was kind of like a threat. Like, he had to have known that he saw that the Noxian soldiers. I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay. Maybe not. Maybe he did.
Maybe he's really just talking about the power here, but I do think he's
talking
talking
about
about something else.
I forgot one thing. This confirms, I'm pretty sure, that Sky is only visible to Victor.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
No.
I never had any doubt about that.
Okay, well, I just want to say it confirms it. I just want to say it confirms it. Okay. On to our next scene. Vi's eating fruit. Follows the singed man. Sees the blade. Thinks not much of it. Throws the fruit on the ground like an animal. And then...
Well, it's biodegradable.
Totally. And then we have our scene payoff, kind of Caitlyn utilizing the technique she learned from Ambessa to put Vi on her ass real quick.
We have Vi activating her sleeper agent.
And we have the first interaction between them since everything happened. So, as...
Do you think...
Go ahead.
Do you think Caitlyn knew that this was Vi? When she first jumped her?
No, because the hair was different. And she seems confused.
Yeah. I was gonna say, she kind of laid into her.
A compost bin, ho-hum. She'd put in a compost bin.
Whoa, who says they have a compost bin?
You know what? It looked pretty clean to me. It didn't look like everybody was throwing their fruit on the ground. Okay, there had to be some order there. Maybe they don't eat. Maybe that's why. Maybe the fruit's just for...
maybe they don't eat.
The fruit is just for display.
I think the fruit is just for the people coming in initially. You know, Vi and Jinx. The other people who have yet to be healed.
It's crazy. Alright, so Vi follows Singed.
You know what? That would make a lot of sense as to why they have so much.
Because no one's
They just
eating
don't
it.
fucking eat it. Yeah, they just don't eat it. They don't touch it.
Okay, ho-hum. I hope you know that the ground is a good compost bin because it'll eventually biodegrade it. But if you put, you know what makes a compost bin specifically? Oh my god, I'm gonna give you some attitude right now because I've had a long day. If you put other things that are degrading with other things that are degrading, they like go faster because like the bacteria that's already consuming the other thing like goes on to your other fruit faster. So like I have a garden. So you put all of your extra little scraps from your food in one spot, and then all of the bacteria go num 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 real fast.
Yeah, yeah. This is why in grocery stores that if you see one bad banana in a box, you should take out that bad banana immediately because all the other bananas will start to turn very, very quickly.
I love that metaphor for life. That's great. If you see one bad banana, you take out that banana, or
Yeah.
everybody else becomes a bad banana.
Every other banana.
But I'm glad to know you just throw your fruit on the ground because it's all compost bin in your mind. That's
Yeah.
good. That's good. Yeah.
Yeah. Feed the
Yeah.
earth, feed Mother Nature.
Yeah. Good stuff. I know how Mom can take it because he's been around, so I appreciate. He's always giving me some sass. So I know.
Yeah.
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 So I thought, in regards to this scene, it was kind of silly that Vi wouldn't, I guess, be a bit more cautious of seeing this and not recognizing it. I thought maybe she should recognize it, given that she was up there and saw the spears and the Noxians during the attack on the memorial. So I thought maybe she should be familiar with it being Noxus that's here, because it's very clearly like the Noxian sword and the red fabric. But she does say who's out there to Caitlyn, which I guess is an okay question, but it wasn't really particularly a thoughtful question either.
Yeah.
I enjoyed the angry oil slick comment from
Yeah,
Caitlyn because it is accurate. That is how Vi looks.
I was like, damn, you're not gonna do her like that. That's my girl.
That's how she looks. Like, it's not a bad thing. It's an aesthetic.
I really like the rich, unhinged mongoose.
And then she gets cupcaked.
Yeah. She gets activated.
She gets activated like a sleep. Were you calling her a sleeper agent?
Yes, I've been calling her a sleeper agent this whole time. That's exactly what she is.
All right, so here it is, our payoff of them meeting again after a long time. And we see how much Vi was grieving. And don't forget that Caitlyn slept with our little Scottish friend. I guess it was really interesting. Esty and I think the reason why I've enjoyed having you on, Esty, is because you are fresh to Arcane, right? Where I've had this sitting on my mind for a while. And also, you tend to have different emotional reactions to the content we consume. So, you were genuinely taken aback by the whole Caitlyn turning Vi in. I was listening to you, remember, you were like, what?
Yeah.
No, like, fuck you. Like, you were mad at Caitlyn.
Oh yeah, of course.
Yeah. Whereas, on my behalf, I, like, wasn't ever confused that this was the whole intention. Like, Caitlyn was, in fact, letting Vi in on the stuff. So basically, they have a quick exchange, like, oh, we're tracking a monster, and then Vi's like, that monster's my dad, and then we have, like, a little moment with Caitlyn's eyes letting us know that she understands. So, but we don't need a line there to explain that. But this scene made Esty mad at Caitlyn, whereas this scene made me, I guess, annoyed at a trope, but that's all. It was successful, though, so, like, it's not, I guess I can't really say it's ineffective, because it did work on you.
Okay, well, damn.
Oh,
Okay.
I'm not trying to shade you. I'm just trying to say, like,
Wow, look at you idiot! You got tricked.
you got tricked. No, I guess it was expectable. I don't know. I just felt
Okay,
it
well,
in my bones.
Yeah, no, just keep going.
I'm sorry. I'll keep going. So I thought it was kind of funny. Ambessa cuts a big slab of meat and then licks her fingers from the raw meat, just in
Kinda
case
gross.
you notice. Kind of gross a little bit.
Well, people have what's that, tartar?
Tartar.
Beef tartar.
Oh yeah,
where
yeah,
where you just have raw meat.
yeah. You're right.
Gross.
Yeah, so we get a lot of side eye going around the room, and then she's like, "I've got Vi," and then Kaylin Oh, Jace, yes, Jace is here. But we're gonna go back.
Yeah.
Jace just makes a quick
get to you.
little cut.
We'll get to you, pretty
We'll
boy.
get to you, Jace. Yeah. Pretty boy, okay. But yeah, so we get some decisions which are kind of interesting. She leaves Vi with Ambessa, and Rictus leaves the room at Ambessa's wish, which I'm not sure why Ambessa would want him to leave, but he does. And Vi that's the exact reaction you had when you're watching it the first time, by the way. He literally out loud was like, "Yeah!" when Vi spit on Caitlin's face.
Absolutely.
So yeah, this basically is like a. Okay, are we allowed to talk? We're gonna talk about the end in this, this scene, okay? Because
we've talked about it enough.
well, so to be clear, Singed has set up that he can set up something to get Warwick out because Victor's not agreeing to things, and we see in this scene with everything going on, there's a big sphere of a lot of blood, and he was hooked up to it, so presumably his blood that is gonna trigger Warwick. And it's like a big tank. My one question was, this man is quite frail and thin. That is a lot of blood. Is he okay?
Yeah, he's been given a lot of blood.
He has been.
Actually, when did we originally? No, we originally saw the teasers back in Arc 1. I guess it has been 6 months. He's allowed to give blood again by Red Cross standards.
Oh, but like, dude, look at how much.
I mean, that doesn't look like a pint to me, but looks like a little more than that. But
it's quite a few drops.
He should be. I don't know how he's like just walking around still thinking. I feel like I'd be a little woozy. Maybe need a juice box or something.
Oh, Eric, I definitely did that to be a little, spice it up, for sure.
spice it up.
For sure. Okay, but yeah.
No, and also I totally agree with you, Eric. I will never ever be a simp. Never work with Vi again. She's super loyal to Ambessa. If I saw Goth Vi, I would fold too.
If I saw Goth Vi, I would fold too. That's really funny. But I think for me, I was not happy when the reveal of. I mean, I already was in. Something in my house is exploding.
Oh.
That's fine.
That's not good.
That's a later problem. But
okay, yeah. Worry about that push stream.
It was not enough time to full send Caitlyn on this
no, it was not at all.
dictatorship kind of Naziist role. And then turn it's like it wasn't they wanted their cake and to eat it too. That saying. It was having Caitlyn fold to Vi or change sides back to Vi.
Yeah.
I wasn't happy with this. It was not a choice. Like, it wasn't okay. Either she is this hard sent way that you've been trying to make her, or she shouldn't have done the things that she's done, and it just was both. It was both and neither. Does that make any sense?
Yeah. Yeah.
I can't articulate it, but I was really frustrated with this choice.
She should have went down one path. She's trying, they're making it so that she goes down both, which is just not cool, in my opinion.
I don't think I don't think Vi should be cool with her right now. Vi is not having any emotional reaction to things that she should be having emotional reactions to.
Yeah, her taking, first of all, I get
Why would she trust Vi? Or, I'm sorry, why would Vi trust Caitlyn?
I'm not gonna lie to you. I would probably be Vi in this situation. I won't lie. I probably would do the same things as Vi.
Okay, then she makes sense, then, I guess.
It doesn't. That's the issue.
So you're saying maybe she's just making an emotional choice after an emotional choice, but
I'm personally an idiot.
Okay.
I won't lie. That's the easiest.
So
way
you're
for me
calling
to say.
Vi an idiot?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. Why do you think I relate to this character so much? I absolutely understand every single action she has taken. I get it. There's just no way I can explain it. It just is something mentally wrong with me, I think. But yeah, no, I would totally I would probably be in her shoes in this situation.
I just don't think she
Where
has a
like
strong reason to trust Caitlyn, especially this plan does not make the most logical sense out of all the plans they could have come up with. Her plan, Vi could have gone back to camp. She could have turned around
she's not
and
captured.
stayed at camp. Her idea is to go get captured, where even in the dialogue, Caitlyn admits that luck is required. With a little bit of luck, that like I forget exactly where. Let me see. Luck. That luck is required to. Oh my god. With flawless timing and luck, and a big distraction, it's like the plan to me was really risky. Because if it didn't work out, Vi could have not been alive. Vi has a lot on the line in regards to, this is her dad and Jinx back there, and she's trusting Caitlyn after all of the heartache that we saw her go through in that little montage, and it's been 6 months or so.
Yeah.
Rushed is an understatement. It was not deserved or earned yet.
Yeah. I like again, like Vi specifically, I can understand. I can understand where she is mentally and like
she's checked out.
How fast she's made these decisions, or just to trust these people, Jinx and Caitlyn. Caitlyn, on the other hand, I just don't get her character. I don't understand. I don't understand why she flipped sides so quick in these 3 episodes. I feel like there wasn't.
I think it's honestly the oil slick aesthetic. Like it's the cupcake. She got called Cupcake.
Really
Vi's got.
Like a sleeper agent.
Did you see Vi's muscles? Vi's got it going on.
Yeah,
so
she does.
I think it's this. It's that. I don't know what else. Like.
Yeah, like genuinely, like I don't, you know.
Okay, so if we make sense of Vi, we still then can't make sense of Caitlyn.
Yeah, like I can rationalize Vi in my head. In my personal head, I cannot rationalize it to the viewers. I cannot rationalize it to literally anybody else. But I can rationalize it in my own head. Caitlyn, on the other hand, no. I don't get it. I don't get it.
I do not also get it, unfortunately. I was not satisfied with this. But yeah, so Sinch is setting up a trap, and it starts dripping, and we see that this little drip kind of aggravates Warwick a little bit. So
A little bit.
we know that the plan is on the way. But yeah, so Caitlyn's like, don't underestimate Mbessa, and then Vi says, Vander's in trouble. I got a plan. You're not gonna like it. So we're back to being buddies. We're all good. It's plan time with the crew, like everything used to be. Sorry, I'm a little tired. Long day. I think I am getting sicker. I'm gonna die by the end of the stream.
No.
It's okay.
You have like literally 2 days left until we see the finale.
Hopefully I don't like 3 a.m. it turns and I just clock out. Okay. I mean, I would disagree only kindly a little bit, What's it to you, just because we just saw her training with Mbessa. And she's been making choice after choice for the last several months in regards to supporting this. At any point, right? Our little Scottish friend said that she could end all of this.
Yeah, and I've seen it, right? Like I've seen little bits and pieces of her pushing back against Mbessa. I think it's the in between of that, right? Why is she all of a sudden pushing back against Mbessa?
It's
like it. I guess we never really got exposition for that. I agree.
I'm not mad at that idea. Back. Like I think that would have been fine at some point. I could have been seeing her be like remorseful, like I fucked up, like I how can I help you, that kind of thing. I'm okay with. It's not like that idea in and of itself is unsatisfying. Again, they could have done anything with the story. I don't know what I wanted. I would have been chill. I would have been cool. But it's the fact that it's this soon. Like we rushed to get her to this spot, and now we instantly flipped it back, kind of thing.
Yeah. Well, no, like my biggest issue, right, is that we kind of saw her go down this deep dark path in episode 3, and everybody was like, "Whoa, Caitlyn, like, how bad is she gonna get?" Like everybody kind of like had these high expectations of and like maybe I guess we shouldn't go with expectations, but like everybody kind of had these high expectations of Caitlyn turning into this horrible like warmonger kind of thing. But
Like a
then by the
full-on
time that we get to,
dictator.
yeah, and then in episode 4, we kind of just see her questioning all of that immediately. Like we kind of just see her completely back off of that position, and like we get no exposition as to why, and that's my issue.
Because
Like
she's
we
been
don't.
shown to see like this animal. Like she's like, remember that moment where she like grits her teeth and we get to zoom in on animal. So if anything, I feel she would at least have a conversation with Vi of, I saw what your father did. He's an animal now. Like I know that's quite literal, but I'm saying she witnessed and saw the massacre of enforcers at Stillwater. She wouldn't be. It would be unwise of a character to be like, that is your father. Okay, I have sympathy for that, and maybe I still care a little bit about you. All of that's fine, but not even exchange the idea of like, but I saw the aftermath at Stillwater. Did you?
Yeah.
Like, he ripped in half 10 of my enforcers. Like, I can't just let that go. I can't just be okay with this. Like, do you even know if this is gonna work, his treatment? Like, all of these things, like, we just need to at least hear this being said. It's the fact that, from an audience's perspective, again, we'd have to take it on good faith that they exchange these things, or go, nah, she was okay with it immediately and just went instantly to help her. So it's like, okay, well, neither of those are, like, quite as satisfying as if we could have addressed them on the screen with some more stuff.
Yeah, and I agree that everybody kind of massively overreacted to how dark Caitlyn would get, and I feel like I was probably one of those people who kind of like massively overreacted to how dark she would get.
It's not even your fault. It's what they set up for you.
Yeah, exactly. I feel like they set it up a little bit, right? And then they kind of just like they flipped.
They stopped.
In my mind, yeah, they stopped. They kind of started sending her down this path, and then by episode 4, like, if you look at the way that everybody talked about Caitlyn in episodes 1 and 3 compared to how everybody's talking about her now, like, it just seems like a different character.
It's because of the time. Remember, I was telling you that 6 months. I really don't think they should have done that time skip, but they're getting away with a lot of things because of the time skip. But also in regards to, it causes a lot of dissonance with the audience and what their characters are experiencing, because their characters could have been feeling something for the last 6 months, regret, remorse, or whatever they've been feeling, but we haven't been with them for the last 6 months. We just did a quick snap go, and it's like, we can do that sometimes, but when it's really essential to us believing your character's choices, I think the 6 months was, even though it's only 6 months, a long enough time where if Caitlyn were to be mellowing out, we kind of need to see a bit of that.
we didn't see any flashbacks during this time skip or anything like that. Like, we've seen nothing of what happens in this time skip. So like, I think that's just like what's really off-putting a lot of people, and like, I do think it's kind of unfair for us to have to do the legwork to just say, yeah, these people are this way because they had 6 months to reflect on it, and that changes people. I just would like to see,
because the 6 months could do that. That's fair and fine, but like,
and I agree. But I just would have liked to see it. I would have liked to see how, because like, in the positions that they were in, I can't see them like just personally going, oh yeah, like, that was wrong of me. Let me change my ways in those 6 months without some outside factor. And we don't see the outside factor that changed them in any way. And you could just say it was emotional, and you could just say it was just like them thinking about it and like them reflecting on their own actions. But like, we just don't see it. We do not see it.
We do not see it.
So bad. I just want to see it.
We want to see it. I want to see it. You want to see it?
This all could be justified. Absolutely. I think everything that we've complained
But we have
about
to make
could be
assumptions. So.
Yeah, but I don't like how many assumptions I have to make about these characters in order to do so.
But we are being good faith. We're making the good faith assumptions.
Yeah.
Okay, so we have you want me to try to pause to see where the Aisha stole the things from?
Yeah, actually, because I guess that room right there, maybe? It does look a bit different than everywhere else. Yeah, she comes out of that little window. By the look of it.
Went out real cool, real quick, real fast.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, I wanted to take a quick note of how wasteful Jinx is.
She's not even throwing it in the dirt!
Well, not even the dirt, but I'm just saying she's taking a bite or two out of each one. Like, this one's like half eaten.
the other two felt like they were pretty finished. The
Yeah.
last one though, she only ate like half of it. And then
This
chugged
one and then
it. Yeah.
I did really enjoy a line here in regards to their experience together. She says, oh, sorry. Something about glasses. She says, like, I'm not sure since you showed up in my life if you're like a pair of glasses who made things clearer or blurrier.
Yeah.
So I thought that was a very wise line, reflective of the inner turmoil that this could have caused her, like having
Yeah.
Aisha in her life.
And I really think it's parallel to the how undoing is a daughter.
Oh yeah, actually, I didn't think of it that way.
Yeah.
And-
That's like the first thing that popped into my mind was, wow, she really understands why Silco was the way he was.
Interesting.
'Cause, I mean, Silco's entire plan really changed because of Jinx. He would have given up, I think, more or less anybody else in that situation.
Mm-hmm.
Not Jinx.
Yeah, I think I like that line. I had nothing to complain about it.
Yeah.
Or
I enjoyed this little scene between them and her getting her gun back because it is definitely a very Jinx thing to do, is to get her gun back.
oh, I wrote a little rant down, but I think we already answered it.
Hmm.
Maybe we did. Did we answer this? I said, wait. Why does Vi even need to go into this? This is a risky plan. Even Kate admits that Vi will need luck.
Yeah, you mentioned it.
Yeah, I did. Okay, thank you.
Yes,
Sorry, I'm getting brain starting to swell, starting to hurt. Oh, there was one little critique I also had. Vi put down her gun thing in eyesight of Ambessa, and we kind of get this reveal here when Ambessa's talking with Vi, and then Ambessa's like reflecting on it here. And like there's like a replay of her putting it down empty, and I just said it's not smart for Caitlyn to have put her gun down missing that component in eyesight of Ambessa.
Yeah.
Because like Ambessa's obviously reflecting on it now, being like, oh shit.
This is the second time though. The second time that Ambessa has like noticed something but not noticed it, you know?
Yeah, noticed it, but like, nah, I'll check it out later.
Nah, yeah. I'll think about this in post, you know?
And then Vi was taking a large risk here with giving her quite lengthy, winded speech. I was fine with it up until the line when she said, being tied up helps. Sorry, I feel like that gives a dead giveaway into Ambessa should be on guard.
Mm-hmm.
Because, she's like, patience.
Confidently.
Yeah, her second one is like, patience. And being tied up helps. So, what do you think, Ambessa, what do you think she's talking about? That just didn't really, I was like, come on.
Also, just a little side note. I don't know if I enjoy or don't enjoy the liquid animation. this is very
The liquid
small-minded.
animation?
Yeah, it just looks so. I mean, I like it. It's cool. It just looks so wonky to me. Like the liquid, the wine pouring into the cup and everything.
Oh
and
yeah, they
swirling
do.
around.
I think they do liquids differently. Actually, there's like
Yeah.
no, the
Like,
cigarette.
Like I'm very curious as to how they animated the liquid.
I remember learning that they do. I know they do the cigarette smoke on like a different layer, but I don't know about the liquids.
Yeah, the liquid just seems very. I don't know. I could tell it was very animated, but like it's just very cool. I enjoyed the animation style on it. It just it just threw me, I guess is the right word. But it's cool. Anyway, we can go move on.
I would argue differently though, Chris. I feel like Ambessa should not be with her guard so far down in regards to Caitlyn was acting a little weird. They both clocked that, and then she says in her dialogue, you've been quite a curiosity, one who captured Caitlyn's heart. I owe you thanks. Your absence provided a vacuum I was able to fill. So I feel like she's aware that Vi has an emotional, or Caitlyn has had an emotional lean towards Vi. Yeah. And she's, like, this is the thing, she's been proven to be extraordinarily wise and 2 steps ahead of everything. but this is not that 2 steps ahead. I think maybe like a level of wanting to make sure. She's proving that point by she's going to take her out. She's going to kill her because she feels like she is such a threat to everything. Caitlyn must not be distracted, acknowledging once again that she thinks Caitlyn is completely possible to get distracted by Vi, but for some reason is still convinced of it. And then is also, we saw like she did clock the fact that Caitlyn put the gun down with the thing missing. It just doesn't. I don't think that's in. Is it a really big overlook by Ambessa that I wouldn't expect Ambessa to do.
Ambessa got tricked by not 1 but 2 sisters.
No, yeah. But yeah, so Vi's like, let me have my little monologue before I kick your ass. He told me if I wanted it, there were 3 things I need to do. Be honest, even if it means telling a self-righteous windbag that her breath smells like a cesspool. Be patient. Still haven't cracked that one, which I thought was funny. But being tied up sure helps. Like, okay, that should give it away. And then, and the third is what Ambessa asks, and then she says, and just shut the fuck up, which clearly she also hasn't mastered that one, because she's still
she's still
talking about the plan as she's doing the plan.
Yeah.
That's okay, it works, so I guess it doesn't matter. But the knife did go flying at her head, let's just say that. And then we get like the grand reveal that, oh my god, Caitlyn was actually on her side the whole time. Like, she helped her out, she showed her where the guards are. So it worked. She even gave her a little boo-boo on the face to make it look authentic.
Vi doing all that, by the way, throwing it up into the air and then punching it midair was not
it
necessary.
It took so much longer than just throwing it.
Cool as fuck. Don't get me wrong, but you're doing too much, Vi.
I mean, for the sake of time, though, you know.
Yeah.
She should have probably just trucked it, but
she did not need to be doing all that. But it was cool as fuck. I can't say anything.
Cool factor outweighs the impractical factor. Got it.
Actually, wait. Maybe she did need to do all that. Hold on. Rewind real quick.
Sure.
Is it activated like as if a gun like hammer would have needed to hit it?
Is it like because it makes sense if it was in Caitlin's gun that you need to shoot it out with a gun.
You need to shoot it out, and like you need a hammer to hit the back of it to make it explode out. And maybe her fist is the hammer. It
goes a bit too fast for me to tell what end she hits, but
yeah, I think she does hit the end though. Which, by the way, okay, that's way fucking cooler. That's way cooler. My bad.
Way cooler.
Because she had to hit the actual. It was like a water bottle flip. She had to hit the actual side of it. That's cool as hell. Okay, my bad. I revoke what I said.
So Vi gets 100 charisma points from SG.
Yeah.
Damn, that's funny. Okay. I said, okay, so Caitlyn showed her where the guards would be, which is fair and fine and necessary. However, Vi still would need to physically make it past all those guards, so the fact that Vi gets back to this place, I was like, damn, I guess Vi can kick Noxian guards' asses with ease?
Yeah, I mean, she's been boxing for a little bit, you know?
Like, that's the charitable assumption, is that she was able to get past all of those Noxian guards.
I guess sneak out.
They show a shot of, like, where that tent is, though, and that tent is, like, the head tent.
Yeah, you would expect her to be surrounded, but did she, I mean, like, you know?
Here it is. Got it. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, unless she was able to slip out the back or something.
There's 2 guards in the front, bro.
I was gonna say no way the guards in the front didn't hear all this.
Oh, so even if she slipped down the back, they should have instantly been like, "Yo."
Yeah, they should have heard it, and like they're like what in a cavern that's like
echoey
that
has
walls
fuck.
That has walls on every side.
Yeah.
So like even if she did slip out the back, where's she going? How did she slip out of here? You know, that's a great point.
I'm just saying she had to have kicked all these guys' asses, and I don't know.
You know, I'll stand by that.
Yeah,
but
I'll stand by that.
Without her gauntlets too.
No gauntlets.
You beat the hell out of them.
Okay, so then we cut back over to Jinx, and part of the plan is that Jinx is gonna help out, Caitlyn is gonna help out, and she's going to sacrifice Singe, or not sacrifice, but like get him right? Last second before he does his thing with his tool, and she does Sorry, I have the hiccups. Successfully stop that. Jinx comes on down. Oh, that is a question. Why does Vi knock out Mbessa? Not knowing how long that will last, right? Or not like leave her knocked out. You know what I'm saying? Like not let her be conscious instead of killing her.
Yeah, and people like I suggested this in the Discord, and people are like, Vi is not a cold-blooded murderer. Okay, I get that.
But
Right?
she would protect her family first, no?
Yeah, and like, but even then, like at the very least, like she didn't even restrain Mbessa at all.
Well, she is in that thing.
Yeah, but
I'd
like,
say that's pretty restraint.
I don't know. I feel like Mbessa could just roar out of that, you know?
If
I feel like
she would have the first time, if she could have roared at.
well, but it's also electrocuting her initially.
Oh, okay, so you're saying if it's not electrocuting her?
Yeah. If it's done doing its initial attack and then it knocks her out, right? Knocks her unconscious, and then as soon as she wakes up, she's just in a net, right? But yeah, I agree that Vi's not a killer. Because we haven't seen her kill anybody, right? Like I don't think she's ever killed. So I could see her not wanting to, because that's a very heavy moral decision to make, especially somebody who is helpless and restrained. But at the very least, like restrain her in some way, especially if she snuck out of that camp. If she didn't fight her way out and she snuck out of that camp, why would she not restrain Mbessa first?
Because if Mbessa comes out or starts yelling at all, like help or anything, then they would all come after her.
Yeah, gag her and like
gag her and tie her up.
Use the handcuffs that she just had on her.
Oh, put her in the handcuffs and like make sure she's. Because she would have some time, right? After, and she's like a limp body at that point, so you could gag her, handcuff her. Or maybe we could just assume that she did that.
Can we? I don't think we can because she so quickly comes back. If she was gagged, it would have taken at least a few minutes for the guards to notice.
Yeah, I agree that maybe she wouldn't have killed Mbessa, but at the very least, it was not the wisest. Like, but that makes me question the plan. So if the plan was just to knock Mbessa out, then they would have inevitably known that they had a limited timer on this entire plan.
And if you know anything about knocking people unconscious, it's not predictable.
So would it be...
They can wake up, they can literally hit the ground and then wake right back up.
No,
or they can hit the ground and not wake up for hours.
So maybe this, I'll give it the benefit of the doubt that maybe this electric thing is like one of those things that knocks him out. Let's just say that, okay?
Yeah.
Like it knocks him out. But the plan would still be kind of confusing because then she's gonna wake up eventually and know that Caitlyn betrayed her, right? And then is it just to give them like a 5-minute head start on running away? Because if that's true, they didn't utilize that time to run away.
No, and even then, if that's also true, why do they need it? Why did they need Vi here in this camp at all? It goes back to what you were saying earlier. Why is Vi here? Why didn't Caitlyn just say, "Okay, Vi, go back. I'll meet you in the actual commune."
Because what they accomplish is having Mbessa knocked out.
Yeah.
Right? So.
But like, for what purpose? Because now, right, the only reason that Mbessa shows up
maybe so it's to get Edge up on Singed so Caitlyn could stop Singed.
But if the original, I mean, so the only explanation I can think of this, right, is if Vi was not held captive in this tent, then Mbessa would have gone with them.
And then then Caitlyn would have not had the opportunity to stop Singed.
Yeah.
So they needed to get Singed alone, and this is the only way they could figure that out.
I guess. But like, that.
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
Like that's also like assuming so much.
But why would Mbessa not send another guard? Which she does.
She does send Rictus. She sends Rictus.
I know, we see that she sends Rictus. But I'm saying, like, why would Mbessa...
Yeah, why wouldn't she do that in the first place? And if I don't see Mbessa going herself. Mbessa's like not that type of person. Even in the big battle, we see that she tells everybody else to charge. She doesn't actually charge it herself initially, right? Even though she's extremely angry, she's the person to send other people first. right? And she's very powerful and very, very, very capable on her own, and absolutely could do it herself. But I don't think she's that type of person to take that risk. So why is Vi in the camp? Why is Vi in the camp? It just doesn't make sense.
So if they
Everything
want
else
to take out Singed, I feel like they could do that in a few other ways. Like if
yeah,
Caitlyn
they could
could
have just had Vi jump him.
jump him.
Yeah,
I mean, there's other options in regards of using Caitlyn's sniper, like she's been shown to
Yeah.
be an adequate shot. But I guess like maybe they're just suddenly on like an anti-kill streak, so or at least
they could have snared him with the snare that they use on Bessa. They could have used it on Singed
snared him.
instead. Yeah,
it's
they
just
could've
a
done
risky,
literally-
very risky plan.
Yeah, it's a very risky plan that half of it just doesn't make sense. And I agree that it did work. Like they took out Singed, but like it just they also told Ambessa that Caitlyn betrayed her in the process.
Yeah, they knew it was like a limited one-time use kind of.
Yeah, like Ambessa would have never known, and would have never showed up to the village and like that quickly. Would have not showed up.
Because
to the
it's
village
not
that
wise in regards like yeah we get out Singed, but now we're gonna have an entire army after
army
us
there.
So
yeah, now
plan
we're gonna have an army
worked-
after us within like a few minutes.
in a few minutes. So yeah, plan worked, but then I guess the plan would have to be we are running away, right? Or like that puts and like they're just talking about the sanctity of this village. That puts the entire village,
village
this
at
whole
risk.
village at risk doing
Yeah.
this plan. Like the whole thing is
Yeah.
now at risk, which is exactly against what Vi was just talking about. I really
I just-
can't see an angle on where this makes 100% sense for either character.
I just don't see like where Vi going into the camp makes literally a lick of sense, any sense at all.
That chance to kill Singed, I guess, that little twig that wouldn't expect it anyway.
Yeah,
Yeah, you could even had Jinx just try to like they
yeah,
could.
exactly. You could have had Jinx do anything.
No.
Like she's working with Jinx, and I guess Caitlyn doesn't know that at this point. But Vi could have said something. Vi could have used her head for all of 3 seconds. It just said, "Hey,
Maybe we're
here's the
no.
whole film."
Okay, we're gonna after upload. We'll give it time. Maybe we're both just being stinky stupid after a long day. We could be missing something, so we'll read through.
I guess, but it just
'Cause we're getting worked up. I can feel it. So we're just gonna take a breath. Cause like I wasn't that upset at this, but now that I mean you've been talking about it, I'm
Yeah.
less and less convinced that this plan made sense.
No, I don't think this plan. I think.
And
Caitlyn's
also,
side of the
this
made
plan
sense.
hinges on us accepting that Caitlyn gets called Cupcake and instantly switches back.
Yeah, it's a sleeper agent. Is Bucky Barnes.
So it's just a lot of things in quick succession that I was not happy about. But
Yeah.
I guess they needed to get Singed alone, but Singed was not alone, and the guard was still there. Okay, we'll just do this quick little Jace scene because it reminded me of. Anybody ever see Ultron? In Ultron, when he gets first made, he's like creeps out of Iron Man's basement in a way that has him looking a little decrepit, a little. First,
I don't know, I just took this as Jace tweaking.
Chase tweet. No. I know it has nothing to do with actual Ultron. This is a direct universe link to Ultron. If you did not know.
Yeah,
So-
I don't know if I remember much of Ultron. I know I watched it, but
Just
I don't remember much of it.
there's moments throughout this where I saw like the people. Oh, it's so fast, and I'm not using a software that would help me with this. But there's the little moments of him seeing the people that Victor has healed, and they are missing the brain again, and they are, yeah, that's decent enough. looking a little scary. Eldritch
Oh.
horror? Good way to
Yeah.
describe it?
Tweaking.
Tweaking. He's definitely tweaking.
He's having a really bad trip.
Bad trip. I was about to say the same thing. So, yeah, we have this moment of his perspective on what the arcane juice is doing to his brain, which I think this is why the internet's divided, because hello, Deli. Nice to see you.
Hello, Deli.
But yeah, so he's just seeing this stuff, and so that way, I think the internet's divided because some people have a perspective of like, well, this is what it is, and he's got to stop this, and how can you blame him if this is what he's seeing? So I appreciate that they showed us more of what he is seeing.
Yeah. That, like, maybe he has a reason.
Yeah, maybe there's a good reason, maybe there's not a good reason. Also, I just noticed something. Wow. Did I not notice it before?
Hmm.
Are these Victor's fingerprints on their faces?
I believe so. Yeah, I didn't make that connection, but it makes sense. That would be a full spread palm.
Doesn't that kind of look like he palmed their face?
Yeah.
Not like palm their face like a strike. I mean like touch.
Yeah. Like put his palm up to their face. That's like a full stretched palm. Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't notice that little detail before. That's so neat.
Interesting. Because he did heal Huck in that way, yeah?
Yeah.
Gives them
I
the
just
mark.
I knew there were markings, but I guess I didn't piece together that it was his hand.
I literally didn't notice it till now.
That's cool.
It's one of those. I mean, Arcane's one of those beautiful things where every time you rewatch it, you will probably notice something new.
Yeah.
So, yeah, he's stressing. He's sweating. He's having. I don't.
Yeah. Wherever this dude was, by the way, for however long he was gone, this man still got perfect fucking teeth. Just like the point.
He found the dentist in that realm, and he took care of him.
Yeah, like.
Or you know what they say, like chewing and like the people that like cavemen and people before our time when they weren't dentists, like ate bones and stuff so frequently that their teeth were good. So maybe he was just gnawing on them bones. You know what I mean?
The bones of the Eldritch horrors he murdered.
Yes. Okay, let's continue on. So we see Jason's perspective as he's sneaking around camp, not so successfully though. I think he's quite noticed, and the person who we just saw grabs their hand and is like, "He's been expecting you." But we hear internally. Well, I actually don't think he says that. Ironically enough.
Yeah, no, I don't think he says that. So
I think he just gets walked, which is more ominous than if we were to have heard that line.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we hear in his head a lot of distortion and not nice sounding things, like groaning, and then we hear his "I won't fail" motif in his brain. He's like, I won't fail. And he's really, I think we heard that earlier on from him too.
Yeah, I think when he first initially enters.
Yeah. So he's just being walked right to our boy. Mm-hmm. My boy, not our boy. I'm not sharing him.
Oh, don't worry, you don't have to.
Oh yeah, and then the more I see it, the more it's clear that it's definitely his finger, like his hand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely. And I noticed that earlier you see Warwick's at the kind of the same imprint.
Oh wow, that's kind of creepier now that I've seen it that way.
Yeah, it is a little creepy.
It is a little creepy. Okay, so he checks out the little circle sphere, and you might be like, oh, at this point, you may go, oh, this is looking familiar.
Oh, Fiction also pointed out that Warwick has them as well.
Oh, interesting.
Before I feel like I'm taking his credit.
Thank you for pointing that out, Fiction. Yeah, so if you were like a very attention hoary, I don't know what the right word is. Your attention was glued to the screen at the first nanosecond of the episode.
Very attentive.
Yes, you'd be like, hey, this is what I noticed in the beginning. It's looking exactly familiar. Actually, these pieces of the wall are like the same.
Yeah, anyway, I didn't.
I also didn't. And we see that Victor is in this ultimate transcended gooey tube state. It's not goo, but anything that is this I have been referring to as goo.
Goo. Yeah, it is goo. No, it's goo.
It's goo. Okay. It's now goo because
it's silky goo.
It's silky goo is fair. It's kind of like a spiderweb magical goo thing. Like, but look at that imagery, bro. Like, he's looking really... Like, I'm getting praying mantis energy from this. Anyway, so yeah, this is Jace's first view of Victor in his full Messiah getup. And this is our first time seeing him in this. This is what makes me think of the hive mind as kind of the correct idea, because it seems like he's like the central core connector with like all of these literal lines, but it could also just be him mad meditating and figuring out some ultimate universe things. We don't know.
Mad meditation, bro.
So basically what ends up happening is in parallel to Jace making a choice here, we get like our final battle sequence. So
I'm going to go. I'll be right back.
okay, I got you, don't worry. But yeah, Victor has his eyes closed, doesn't notice him. I was curious if this was because he was inside of Werewolf's head at the moment, or Warwick's head. It kind of seems like that from the way Warwick's eyes are twitching, that he might be like in there trying to work on him, versus because I wonder if he couldn't detect Victor or Jace for that reason. Because one of the big things is he's been really good at noticing, like, oh, I've been expecting you, but Jace gets led directly to Victor, and he kind of seems surprised by this blast that we end up seeing. So I'm hoping that my assumption is that he's in Warwick at the moment, and we see like their eyes, and it cuts back and forth. So I think that's what they want me to think as well, because I have seen the criticism like, how have he not noticed? I don't know. That's my guess. Maybe it takes like all of his attention because he goes to that universal gooey place.
I'm back. Sorry, that was horrible. I've been holding that in for like an hour and a half now.
Oh my god, you could like totally explode
yeah,
your bladder.
yeah.
Don't do that.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe that's
but yeah, to continue forward.
My thoughts, by the way.
Oh,
now that we've talked.
Do we want your thoughts? That's crazy.
Okay. Move on. It's fine.
You peed. You're not allowed to have any thoughts anymore.
All right.
What are your thoughts, sir?
No, but like maybe like based off what we were talking about earlier, and maybe Victor has seen this coming and knows that he's going to be quote unquote killed here. I don't know. Maybe
like you think it's part of his plan to be?
Maybe it's a plan. I don't know what the plan could fucking be. I really don't get how him getting killed here is a good thing for him. But
I mean, the fact that we see him,
all of his people as well.
Yeah,
and he does look genuinely surprised.
Yeah, we'll see. We can't really speak too much on it.
I would say, or it could be the complete opposite in the Arcane, that the fact that it touched Jace is hiding him from Victor, which is why Victor kind of like comments on how strange that he is in the beginning.
Well, right now, what has happening is Caitlyn is getting big choked by Rictus, and I liked this line. I thought it was one of the stronger lines about how this is gonna cut deep, because let's see, that's exactly what he says. Something like she trusted you. You know what I'm talking about? You know what I'm talking about?
I didn't take notes, so
you're fine. Let's see. We'll just read it on the screen. And Bessa believed in you.
Yeah.
It was the next line right after this. Your death will be a deep cut. This was a strong line because it spoke to the fact that like, and Bessa actually does have feelings, kind of. You know what I mean? And
she genuinely was looking at her as an apprentice.
Yeah. And also, it made me wholeheartedly believe that maybe Caitlyn could die right here. And I think that could have been a cool thing. Like, if we really wanted to make Caitlyn switch sides and have that be something like, because she has made a lot of choices that are strong choices that I don't think are going to be easy for people to forget. Having her kind of, I don't want to say sacrifice, but accidentally get killed trying to change backsides is not like a horrible way to go. But yeah, I was like, okay. Maybe she gets injured or something. But Jinx comes to her rescue.
Out of all people.
And we see that back on his.
She gets her haircut.
She does very, very. I think it would have been cool if it like cut one of her braids off entirely.
Braids off, yeah.
Yeah, get like a little haircut. And oh my gosh, she could have looked more similar to Aisha then.
Yeah.
Oh, I think they would have been more matchy.
Well.
Okay. Well, so we go Shimmer Jinx versus Rictus, and we see that he, that little scene we got earlier on with these guys that I pointed out to you, chat. Remember these?
Kind of absorbed
they're absorbing the magical goo now. So he's protected from Jinx's magical goo at the moment. Okay. during this fight scene, I only had one thing that came to mind, other than, oh, it's cool. She has a gun. Why is she actively trying to get closer? Was my confusion. She notes that it doesn't work, so like, okay, that makes sense. So then she hops on.
She hops on. Why doesn't she shoot here?
She should shoot here, right?
Yeah.
But instead she
has
goes,
complete control of the
I
gun.
must close the gap because I have the gun. And closes the gap. And then, like, dodges the punch. And, yeah, she's just, like, really in close. And if you want to be in close, which is okay, I guess, for this, maybe, because you're like, my gun doesn't work if his spear catches it, you still gotta take that shot. Like,
Yeah,
she's just playing jump rope for fun right now. Yeah, but
I mean, maybe she was just looking for an opportune time to actually shoot, but, you know. And
Yeah.
I guess we don't really understand how the.
no, she's
gun
having
works.
fun. She has like that one smile.
Yeah,
There's a
definitely.
smile moment there. Like her shimmer's
She-
giving her some cracked abilities.
Yeah, it does. She's so sick with the shimmer. I love her with the shimmer so much.
Yeah, she's smiling at that and this, like when she hops side to side, and she has that
Yeah.
lightning little pink stuff to let us know as the audience that this is the shimmer helping her out. But things don't go well for her in this fight, as I guess it probably should, given that she has she's more frail, I guess, and using a gun, and this is a big Noxian soldier. And her dad, Warwick, saves the day.
Yeah.
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 And he fucks Rictus up.
God, he fucks Rick this up.
Yes, he does.
Yeah.
Don't touch my dot.
Yeah. What a great line from Warwick.
Yeah, I just thought it was funny seeing a monster talk in a British accent. Like, it kind of made me laugh. That's just me. I meant, haha.
aren't
Like,
all of the world's monsters British?
yeah. Yes. I think it's been making, like, in my head, you know who it
Like, that
was?
was
Okay, no, wait. No, I didn't mean it like that. Like, hear me out.
No, I'm the one getting canceled. I just realized what I said.
No, hear me out. My brain, I pictured Warwick's inside was, if you ever watched Buffy, there's the main librarian that helps out with Buffy. That guy. Him. His name is
the
currently
Fergie.
eluding me, but that guy.
Yeah, that guy.
That guy. That's who I imagined was Warwick. Okay. And then, but, as happy as it is that he might have kicked Rictus's ass, Caitlyn is quite upset at seeing Jinx. It almost kind of seemed like she was not expecting to see Jinx. Which, I don't know, maybe she rightfully has. This
Yeah,
still makes sense. The fact that she's upset at Jinx is, I'm glad they carried that through.
Yeah, and I guess Vi didn't, just conveniently forgot to mention that she was.
She
working
should
with Jinx.
probably mention that, though. That's another part of the
Yeah.
problem, isn't it? Like, hey, my
Yeah,
sister's
Vi
gonna
just
be there.
Did not talk at all. Vi was just like, "Oh yeah, this is the plan. Cool. All right, yeah, I'll go to the camp. Sure.
Oh, don't forget, my sister's there. You hate her? I know you want to fucking kill her, but
Yeah, I know I know the last time we saw each other, we were actively trying to kill my sister, but she's in the village, by the way. That would
Yeah.
be nice to.
she's probably gonna help you.
hit that. Yeah, she might help if she sees you.
Oh my
Okay.
goodness. Oh
She's
my
probably
goodness.
keeping a very close eye on
Wait,
her father.
does
or
that mean this
whatever.
plan technically didn't work because it relied on Jinx coming in? Like, Caitlyn would have died?
Oh yeah, I guess technically yeah.
Yeah, I don't really think this plan did work then.
Yeah, no, the plan. Yeah, I'm sorry, Ho Hum. I didn't mean it that way.
No.
Not
No.
all British people are monster. It's like the square and the rectangle. Not all rectangles are squares, but all squares are rectangles.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Oh, I'm gonna keep you to this. I'm gonna clip it. But yeah, so I don't know. It was a moment where I'm glad Caitlyn still had the aggression towards Jinx, as she should.
Yeah.
And Vi makes it back to camp pretty quickly. Like, she was kind of honestly only like 2 minutes behind Caitlyn.
Yeah.
So she did look like she high-ended it there, but yeah. And we have Caitlyn kind of reacting to all 4 of them together, including Aisha hugging Jinx, which I think was important for Caitlyn to see if we're gonna try really hard to get us to be okay with her being okay with Jinx, which is it seems like they might try to do. But Yeah. Uh. Oh yeah. So we have kind of a parallel to episode 3 of season 1 right here. We have everything working out perfectly for us, basically coming to a final conclusion. Our plan is done. Again, until it would have been fucked anyway because Mbessa would have woken up and or come back over, but we're gonna ignore that for a second. Um, and then we have here, we cut back to Jace, who some people might have forgot about, slipped their mind for a second, and we realize that he's gonna make a decision. He's about to make a decision. I became Kermit the Frog. Um, but yeah, it's interesting because it's like that nice moment of, oh, we're good. And then,
Yeah, it worked out. And then, oh no.
oh no, okay. So this, let me pause on the exact frame.
Yeah, I would say I didn't notice that his room lit up before.
His rune is lighting up now, but Victor finally opens his eyes. We have, I would say this is supposed to be them telling us that we have him back, right? Like he says, "Get off my daughter," kind of thing. I think he's kind of mostly in control of himself now. Again, we're celebrating, we're smiling, and then right here, this exact frame, chat, is the exact moment I paused the show and I messaged Esty and I went, "They're gonna make everyone hate Jace." This is like, I think the screenshots was, or I think all in all caps. I was like, no, they're not. They're not gonna do it.
I just scrolled up to it. Do you want to read off exactly
Yeah, sure,
what
go
you
ahead.
wrote? You said, "Oh man, I just paused it because I'm in disbelief. They are about to make Jace permanently the most unlikable character ever." And then like 5 minutes later, you went, "Yep, wow, they did it. Jace is forever rooted as the worst character. Wow, in disbelief."
No, I don't mean we. Okay, I think I was.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, very, very. I was gonna say because I'm gonna call you out on this.
I don't think the worst character as in like literally. I meant the worst character as in like people are gonna be so mad at him.
Yeah,
and that
absolutely.
because people are already so mad at Jace all of the time, and I was like, they're having him. And I waited to send that until all of the souls left the bodies, yeah? And like the whole nice sanctuary is completely freaking obliterated. We have this nice happy moment. I was like, they're really not trying to help Jace, is basically what I was trying to tell SD. I was trying to say, like, they're solidifying him as one don't like Jace. Please don't like Jace.
The funniest thing that I've seen so far on TikTok specifically is that everybody's very split on whether or not Jace made a good decision here.
Well, we'll find out next
like,
episodes, right?
Yeah, but everybody's making their profile pictures either green with a check mark on Jace's face to say that he did the right thing, yellow with a question mark to say they don't know and they're going to wait for more information, or red saying that they absolutely hate the man. And the community is so split. I don't think I've ever seen a community this split about, like, evenly split about something. Like, people are actually split about this. Some people think that this is the worst thing that he could ever do, and then some people, like me, think maybe he has a point. You know?
Maybe he has a point. I don't know yet. I'll be a yellow person, but in any regards,
Look,
if Victor. So here's my thing. I kind of was thinking Victor is dead, right? But now people are telling me Victor maybe not be dead.
yeah.
The idea of Victor being like, I was talking about him winning the duel and killing Victor would be. I don't think anybody would be particularly happy with. I'm gonna wait until the end of it and then I'll talk about it because I it's really just speculation at this point.
Yeah,
Apparently we can see at some point Singed inject here.
Oh yeah, I would like to see that because I don't get that. But I will give my two-faced evidence for why I think Jace did the right thing here. Because either one, he did the right thing, and this is absolutely the right thing to do, and we'll find that out in the next 3 episodes. Or 2, he was tweaking.
He was tweaking.
He was tweaking.
Or,
we can't blame the man.
Actually,
he was tweaking.
Hear me out. Hear me out. Genuinely. I think Arcane has been a spectacular show for showing the validity of all perspectives. For real.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like things I would have never considered to be right before, or maybe would have just cast the side as no. I think I could have come around to going, no, I think that's valid, and each side I could see equal argument for and morals behind each. So I think it'd be super fun to break down what Victor and Jace. I won't say Victor and Jace are opposite sides of the same coin, you know. So.
Oh yeah. Wow.
Well, but
Well, that's some imagery right there.
I think you know, Victor and Jace, going off of what I just said, I don't think either of them are necessarily wrong. You know what I mean? So, like,
No.
even at the end of the day, if Victor ends up stopping what we see as he, in his perspective, is as bad, I think Arcane is doing the thing that Arcane does best and presenting us with
Yeah.
Victor's perspective as to why it's beautiful. Because arguably, Victor is stopping suffering. He is creating this.
Yeah.
Like you could totally take both sides. So
Yeah.
I think having a right side to what Jace did is like trying to do that to any character. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, I do like that you could look at this in very different perspectives and find very different meanings in it.
Yeah, I agree. So we get the blast. Victor sees it. His eyes get real wide. I think that's because he was not particularly expecting this. And we also have Jace say, "I swear it," because he kept saying, "I will end this. I won't fail. I swear it." And then
Yeah, and I also something interesting I saw people talking about where was that maybe Jace is stuck in a time loop and he's done this over and over and over again, and this is why he wants so badly to kill Victor because he feels like Victor's the root cause of it.
okay,
That's a
speculate.
different
I don't know how to
theory.
talk on that.
Yeah, no, neither do I. Neither do I. I have no idea. It was just something I wanted to throw out there because I found it very cool, like a very cool theory. But yeah, move on.
Moving on. His eyes, his pupils restrict. He has a genuine moment of fear. I'd say, fear. And I was in tears. I was in tatters. Not happy. And he blasts him to the next dimension. Maybe quite literally, actually. Then we get some real
Maybe quite literally.
eldritch horror, some kind of existential nightmarish fuel.
Whoa, this looks like the beginning of the episode.
Oh my god, it's the
guys.
beginning of the episode. No
Yeah, by the way,
way.
we're like 2 hours, or like we're almost 3 hours in. I'm just gonna restart right here. We're at the beginning of the episode again.
Deli, good luck on your test. You got this. You got
Good luck,
this.
Deli.
You got it. I'm not even gonna wish you good luck actually, because I know you got it. No luck
Yeah,
for
you
you,
got
because you got it. It's all skill. All skill.
Yeah, I'll skip.
All skill. All right. Yeah. So the roof is blasted off. It's suspended in like space, and there's like electrical little arcane goos going amongst it, and then we see that our boy. I like how. By the way, I really enjoyed how like the reveal was like one of the pieces moving out of the way like
Yeah.
slowly. But our boy Victor, or my boy Victor, is got quite a large hole in his chest.
Yeah, quite large. Not as big as I thought it was going to be, but I did not think that that he would still exist. You know?
That he wasn't atomized.
Yeah. Like, because that was quite the explosion. For him
Yes.
to only have like a hole that doesn't even go clean through. God.
I think it does. Does it go? I think it does go clean through.
I didn't see it at the very least.
I'll try to pause it on it. I mean, to me, it looked 95%.
That boy's a tank. That's all I'm saying.
He is definitely a tank,
He's
but
breathing still. That boy's a tank.
okay.
He's still got lungs in there somehow. Actually, wait, he's breathing.
Yeah, he is breathing. I thought the same thing. He goes. He takes one breath though.
Yeah, but even still, like he's breathing, or maybe he's just twitching. But
Oh yeah, because we saw Sallow wasn't breathing.
yeah, I was just saying because like if he's breathing, that says a lot. But maybe he's just twitching.
Maybe just twitching. And then we see him drop his beloved coin, which is a gear.
Which we see like 4 or 5 different times, and I either want to talk about whether or not it's a continuity error or a hint at
Hey.
timey shit.
We'll get there. And at the same time this is happening, now I want to talk about my viewing experience because everybody's viewing experience is equally valid in my mind. Because there's different levels of intellect and there's different experiences that people have, that when you bring yourself to sit down in front of a piece of media, you will have a different experience than someone else.
This
And-
sounds like a lot of exposition to say. I'm gonna say some bullshit.
I'm gonna say something stupid because I viewed it wrong. And actually, it was when I called up Whipple today, be like, "Yo, I'm fucking confused." And then Whipple's like, "I got you." And then basically, I figured it out because my viewing experience twice before I asked for help, and then I went back and watched again, and then it made sense. I was confused. I wasn't confused actually. I had the wrong, like, objectively wrong interpretation of it. But so after Victor dies, we get some real horror of people screaming in like a really high-pitched, eerie screech, and what I assume to be their souls leaving their bodies of some kind, or like energy, white mist coming out of their eyes and their mouths, going up in the sky in a little spiral pattern. Take that as you will, but I took that as their souls. Maybe it was not. Maybe they were already.
I
don't know.
Yeah, I took it as the victor's essence leaving them.
I took it as their souls leaving them, for sure. I think that's interesting. Do you think it was Victor's essence? Because they don't move after this. They're dead and gone.
Oh yeah, but I that also supports my theory that maybe they didn't. Not that they didn't have their souls. I still think they were their own individual people.
Mm-hmm.
But I do feel like they were running off of Victor's energy more than they were running off of their own energy at that point.
I think they're definitely running after Victor's energy, but with Huck being our prime example of what they and Huck and Sallow, I still think they're their own person. Because we even have like the poor Sallow at the beginning of this episode, right? So there is like an acknowledgement that there is some kind of person still in there.
That Victor believes. I'm not completely unconvinced that Victor has the wrong idea of what he's doing there.
Gotcha. Okay. Well,
because I think that maybe this whole sky thing isn't as real as we think it is, and it's maybe the Arcane manipulating Victor.
So that's the sound, by the way, chat. Horrifying sound.
Episodes.
Not good sound.
Not good.
They did a good job designing it to make it sound like, spiritual, existential horror of things happening that we can't quite understand. But this is where I went wrong, chat. This is where my brain failed me, and a third watch and help from another perspective finally healed the wrong thing I had thought I had seen. So my perception was that there's... What's up?
Oh, no, I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'll say it after.
Okay, my perception was that their bodies were or their souls were leaving their body at this point, and I think this whole episode's been like trying to find Vander's soul in this mess, or like trying to find Vander in the mess of the beast. So when we get Vander busting out of this tent, full engorged and lava filled or whatever, my perception of this 2 times through, okay, was that he was fighting inside himself so his soul could escape. Wrong. I know this is wrong. I will correct myself, and you can correct me too. But I didn't notice that Singed had...
Yeah, and I would like to go back and look at that, because I still didn't see it this time.
Yeah, so I see a moment when Victor's giving his monologue, like a moment of Singed standing there in the ruins, but I still didn't take that as he had injected, or I don't even know if injected's the right word, but it put a device on him.
Yeah.
I was confused, I guess, because I thought this was a moment of, and I still think you could maybe help me in seeing that, like, that could align with if I thought all the souls were leaving the bodies, how his soul was shown to be buried so, like, deep underneath that he was, like, fighting the beast in himself to, like, not let his soul go. I don't know. That's what I thought was happening.
My very original theory was that the Vander has left. Like, Vander perished along with the rest of the town.
Mm-hmm. Or, yeah, that's what that too. Like, maybe his soul left and this is, like, truly just... Left. Yeah.
This is just Warwick now.
Yeah, I saw that too. Yep.
Yeah, that's what I saw originally.
Yeah, I agree.
And until people started putting out the Singe thing, which I still haven't seen myself, I still would like to go back and look at that.
We can try to find it, because I've only see it after the fact. I don't see it before.
Yeah, if you'd like to search for that real quick. I would like to bring up what Eric, the thing I freaked out about.
Okay.
Eric said Jace kept Victor's promise on destroying the Hex Core. That makes his Jace's lines about "I won't fail" and I'll do it this time or whatever, like, it takes me completely out of that stupid little Groundhog Day theory, and completely into, oh my god, I fucked up. Like the whole time loop thing. Maybe he's been in a time loop. That thing that
I don't think it's that.
Yeah, no, neither do I. I thought it was just cool to point out.
Okay.
Absolutely not. I don't think it's that at all. but it completely takes away from that theory and throws me into, oh my god, he realized how bad the hex core was when he was
Yeah.
in there.
Yeah.
And now he's regretting not destroying it. That's why he's tweaking out and trying to destroy it. So
Yeah.
he's not killing Victor. He's killing the fucking hex core.
Yeah.
That is such a good thing to point out that I didn't connect before. So thank you, Eric.
Really? You, dude, hold up.
I didn't. I just didn't connect that in my head.
So
That
what
was just
if we
strange
no
that
no hold up? If we didn't think it was the silly time loop thing, and you just think it was that, what did you think it was beforehand?
What him? The reason that he killed
Victor.
Victor?
Yeah.
Because of what Victor's doing.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
No, I think it was pretty clear from the get-go that he feels like he has to stop the hex core because of like the hex tech because of what he's seen.
I thought what Victor was doing is like I didn't see it as him keeping his promise kind of thing.
Oh, so Chris, I had
I
the
thought-
same thing as Chris saying, and same thing as what you said. It's like he said, I don't remember Singe doing anything. I just thought Victor's healing was contingent on him being alive, and now that he's dead, the healing is reversed. That I didn't necessarily think reversed, but I thought like the healing like was not there no more, kind of.
Yeah, I thought just Vander was completely gone and it's just a piece now.
Yeah, but the Singe thing was so quick that if I think it's somewhere in the montage of things. If it happens beforehand, I didn't catch it. But when Victor's saying his little spiel, which I'll just try to go find, he's talking about like the violence and like the duality, and we see like a quick shots with a circular frame here of Victor alive, or I'm sorry, of Singed alive.
Yeah, standing up.
So I didn't take this as it was his fault. I took this as Victor was referencing Singed, but
I thought he was just making it up eventually. I didn't think he actually did anything beforehand.
Apparently we get something that lets us know he did it.
Yeah, that's like.
But I think that should have been more clear because I feel like I feel like I was trying hard to really pay attention. Like I wasn't on my phone. I wasn't not listening to the text. I was like,
and
I missed it. I didn't understand. I misunderstood. Actually, I wouldn't even say I missed anything. I think I took what they gave me and said, "Oh, because Victor's dead, that he is like Vander's not there no more," kind of thing. So, yeah, that was like a little note I had there. And then, oh guys, you're not gonna like me. I said, "Tears of lava." Those were cool. I don't know if it's actually lava, but it looks really painful. Really, 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 really painful.
Yeah, it looks horribly painful to be consumed by lava, to just be spitting out lava. I still don't understand how this is happening. Because that seems very hot. How are we producing that much heat? That entire thing, I was like the entire time I was really sitting here thinking, like, why is he spitting out lava?
Apparently,
that is my genuine question.
Apparently, this is over top Victor's body. Is this Victor's body? I mean, it looks like his circular thing. The tree's in here, and I feel like isn't the tree where
I thought this was what. No, this is definitely the garden. Yeah, this is definitely the greenhouse where Warwick was.
Kind of hard to tell because it's all on fire.
You can see the plants in the background. There were no plants in Victor's little chamber.
This looks like the tree, yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
And look to the right. There's more plants over there.
Oh, okay.
We go way up against Singe's back.
Okay. So then he had, yeah, I guess.
This is definitely still in the greenhouse.
Then that would imply that he did use the thing on Warwick.
Imply it, but it doesn't show it at all.
Yeah, but again, the good storytelling doesn't have to show everything. That's fine. I told you earlier on, like my whole spiel about this is why I like it. Like I like to be challenged. I like to have to connect the dots on my own as an audience member. I don't want them to expedition dump me every time. I don't want that. No, but like this is such a quick little frame. There's also a lot going on, right? So we have a lot of commotion. It's not necessarily. Again, I was really paying attention, and I really misunderstood what was happening because of.
I think I misunderstood it.
So it's like a failure in what they were trying to deliver. That's all. But basically, Warwick has got lava nipple juice shooting everywhere.
Yeah, he does.
And
he looks like It's like Frankie from One Piece. He has nipple rockets. Or,
Yes.
sorry, nipple flashbangs.
And then we have Victor's monologue as we get a bunch of um slow-mo shots of the fighting going on. But important first is that Ambessa's first-hand man gets pummeled, and I thought this was very similar to aggression to how he, it's fair to say, pummeled the other guy. What is his name? You know, in episode 3, when Vander gets full of the shimmer for the first time and comes up and chokes.
I don't know his name. The other shimmer infused guy.
Shimmer infused monster guy.
The first shimmer infused guy.
It's eluding me at the moment, but yeah, that guy. You know how much violence he killed him with.
Yeah,
I felt. Yeah, it was very similar that here, and I was kind of sad. Like it might be this again might be his last moments, and the last thing he does. Decker, thank you so much, Eric. But when he kills Decker, so these might be his last moments. I'm not gonna say that definitively because people are telling me to wait. I'm like, okay, I don't know what time travel and shenanigans might happen. I don't know.
Yeah.
But he's become like this beast again right before death, and then brutally murders and like kind of almost becomes like animalistic and kills, and then and again, and for protection of his family, that's fair and fine. But I just so sad seeing him this way because it's not a true fair, nice way to go. Like that's not how he is deep on the inside, you know?
Yeah, like that's not him. I think that's indicative, or like that's kind of the point. Both times he kind of. I feel like if we're talking about those four things, guile, vision, strength, and sacrifice.
Yeah.
Vander is the epitome of sacrifice. He quite literally sacrifices everything that he is.
You could say he even sacrifices his humanity.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what I mean. Because he sacrificed his humanity to inject himself with the shimmer, and even when he once again he sacrifices humanity here, not really by choice, but his humanity gets sacrificed here, and he freaks out and still somehow ends up protecting Jinx and Vi.
Well, Ambessa sees this, and we actually see a bit of emotion in her face right there. She gets quite mad. It takes a little, I'd say like a second, and then charges her people in, and she's kind of upset, I'd say. I mean, it doesn't show it a lot, but for Ambessa, this is a lot.
I think her yell shows it pretty well.
Yeah.
The way she screams.
Yeah.
Spit flying. Yeah, right. Like, ugh.
Yeah. She's not doing good. Sends her people in, and then we get the monologue from Victor as he's looking like he's has seen better days, and we get our episode title.
Goddamn truth.
He says, "I understand now the message hidden within the pattern, the reason for our failures in the commune. The doctor was right. It's inescapable. Humanity, our very essence, our emotions, rage, compassion, hate, two sides of the same coin, inextricably. Nope.
Oh, nope, not that one.
Inextricably.
Yep, that one. Sure.
Found.
I'm not even gonna try.
Inextricably bound. Yeah.
No, go ahead.
No, I know you haven't been necessarily around as long as I think Ho-Hum actually, if he's here, will remember. Jamie probably will too. Comes to like ambiguity, that took me a century to master, right? There's certain words here that just, you know, saying words is a hard thing to do. But okay, so yeah, he has that little monologue, and I really like it. It makes sense as to why he's been carrying around his coin. An important little note about that coin/gear is that on one side of the gear is some goo that has like the arcane stuff on, and the other side is clean, like it doesn't contain any of that stuff. So, oh, here we go. I pointed something small out to ST that I don't know if it bothered any of you guys or anybody noticed, because it's quite a small, like, canonical thing. But we see at this point it roll already and reach this point where it is starting to swivel and rock back and forth and land on one side, which it looks like it's gonna land on the Arcane side, by the way. And then at the very end, when we see the coin once more, and then at the very end, it like re-rolls all over again, and I felt like it like re-rolled and rolled again and again. But now that I'm thinking about it,
Could that be some hint at timey-wimey stuff?
that's what your perception was, right? It could maybe be hinting at time stuff. I'm also now reflecting back to season 1 episode 1 when we get that explosion when the hex crystal hits the wall, how it slows down, or in season 1 episode 3 when we have the explosion and we kind of redo it each time to see a new perspective. I almost could see this as this was all happening in the time that the gear took to roll and land, kind of thing.
What, the entire like war basically outside?
Yeah. Something like that. I don't know. They show it canonically like rolling, already kind of landing on its face and then rolling again. Just a small thing. SD thinks maybe it hints to time things. I think maybe it's just.
No, that wasn't my initial thought. Initially I have no idea why it happened. But after seeing like what people are pointing out, maybe, and I don't fully support the theory because I think it would be kind of odd still that it's timey-wimey stuff. The other thing that is like very heavily hinted at timey-wimey stuff is the giant explosion that happens at the end. Kind of seems to like pause, as if it was like a pause and then a rewind time kind of trope. And people are like, "Oh, that means Echo's here." So but I don't know. I have no idea yet.
I'm not quite sure either, and the theorizing could go all night, but I think the coin gear thing landing on the Arcane side up was not really a mistake, though. I think if he were to come back, with people telling me that he's gonna come back, he probably would come back as like this ultimate Victor transcended form
I
thing.
think he's gonna come back as the Machine Herald, as he's known.
But let's get into the things I was not so understanding and content with. There was quite a lot of Noxian soldiers, yeah, that were going their way. I understand that a lot of them were focused, indeed, on Warwick. However, Vi is doing a pretty good job here. See, right here. Punches one. Right?
Blink.
Caitlyn's shooting others. Yeah. But she kicks one, and then she gets gashed across the stomach and lets out a pretty bad yell. Now, this guy's also going up to finish her. That gets shot and taken care of. But from here on out, the amount of ignoring that goes on from the Noxian soldiers to
The
gang, I don't really have sympathy for. It really feels like just plot armor to me.
Yeah.
Especially when Jinx is on the ground. The distancing in which the location of them in regards to like the explosion at the end, or like how Vi caught up to Jinx. But yeah, there's like not all of a sudden like there's one Noxian soldier and two Noxian soldier quite far away. Do they not know? I first was like maybe they're not told to attack them and like just told to attack Warwick, but then in the same breath they are attacking Vi, so they must know. Yeah. And she saw Caitlyn betray them, or betray her, so she knows they know to attack Caitlyn.
Yeah, and they know Jinx at this point. No, like they have to.
I just don't know how they wouldn't be attacking them. Like they are.
Yeah, especially right here. There is literally a Noxian soldier at Jinx, like at Jinx. Like literally, the feet are pointed like not even 2 feet away from Jinx, and you're telling me that soldier didn't just stab her?
Like I totally understand that there's Warwick, but they showed us that they are trying to fight the other things, and like this would literally take a millisecond to look down and just like little.
Yeah. Oh hey, double tap, you know.
Take one out, 1, 2, and like the only thing too is like these have been shown to be like trained soldier killers. But if you wanna pass it off, that's fine. If it didn't bother you, that's fine. for me, I could not get out of my head the distancing and the pacing in regards to how many fighters we showed roll in regards to the, they are really suddenly alone, and
Yeah.
it's just this right here didn't make sense how they're not gonna be hurt. They're so vulnerable in this moment, and Mbessa is standing over her dead friend's body, and I also was like, well, all it takes is one soldier, two soldiers. Yeah, so I had that critique. I wasn't really particularly understanding of. I wasn't graceful towards the lack of, I guess, soldiers that would have been looking at those guys. That's all.
Yeah.
I understand Warwick's a big, scary guy. I get it.
Yeah,
I hear you.
and everybody was kind of focused on him, but like,
I hear you.
it does. I agree.
But they were
that it
also
does
like just
feel
waiting their turn. They were like low key just standing around him in
Yeah.
a circle, waiting their turn to get fucked. Like
Guys,
there was no
let's attack
strategy
one at
to
a
that.
time.
They were just going like stick it like the one guy was holding his sword, just waiting. I love it.
Yeah.
Okay, it's fine.
I
Maybe
think
they're
that they're scared.
maybe they're not as good as the fighters as we thought they were. But
maybe we have too high hopes of them.
I was curious if you guys had any thoughts on that. I'll read through because for me it bothered me, but I know for some people it didn't bother them at all. I think it bothered me more on my second rewatch. First time through, I don't think I really thought about it much.
Yeah,
But-
first watch, I didn't think about it at all, but then when we started pointing it out, I was like,
They should be dead. Jinx gets knocked to the ground. Aisha takes it upon herself now because she sees Jinx lying on the ground that she must save the day. This is a moment I got emotional towards. I'd say that. I'd like to preface it with this. And I still do, even though I have these critiques of it. I think like even rewatching it, I get a little teary-eyed.
yeah.
I was just not particularly understanding what, why, what and why. Yeah, I guess I can leave it at that.
Yeah.
You can help me, maybe, SC? Please help me.
So like why? I mean, we talked about pretty in depth about this in the Discord as well. Just like, why did Isha do this? Why did she do this? And like, I do agree with Hoham here, where it's kind of, she's a child. I think her entire plot here was save them. Like, one, like 3 magic orbs in here is probably gonna create big explosion. I can
Mhm.
take out all the big bad soldiers that are threatening my mom or my sister, whatever she thinks
Mhm.
Jinx as. And she did not have a second thought past that. And I totally understand that because, thinking that far ahead is not the strong suit of presumably an under the age of like 10 or below child.
Yeah,
know?
and she kind of almost seems like a fangirl of Jinx. Like,
Yeah, like would
yeah.
absolutely sacrifice her life just to show Jinx that she loves her.
Mhm.
Like as a show of love. So like, I could definitely I definitely understand why Isha did this, I think. Because she just wasn't thinking that far ahead. And I think it's very parallel to Jinx in season 1, arc 1 of the Symbol Monkey. She was not thinking ahead. She said, "Oh my god, they're gonna get my sister, send in big bad explosion." And then that explosion ended up killing everybody, not just the people that she was trying to hurt. It ended up like really hurting the people that she was trying to protect. And she didn't have that forethought.
Okay.
She had no idea that was going to happen. She just did it. So, and I think that's like very similar here, where she doesn't have that forethought. She's just trying to do whatever she thinks is best.
Okay. She's just trying to do what she thinks is best.
Yeah.
I guess I appreciated that we got these
These
memories.
Yeah, I do really like these.
Here's the thing: is I wish we got this before,
Yeah.
right before she died, because I like as a viewer, I never really fully cared about Aisha in the way I think they wanted me to.
Yeah. Well, I did. I always liked it.
Cool. I didn't,
always
and I'm a
liked
pretty
Shelly.
empathetic person. I did cry. I got sad, but I didn't care in the way that I would care if like the characters like a well fully developed character would. She still feels flat to me. She feels like a character for Jinx, not a character of her own.
Yeah, that's fair.
So like I got emotional, and like the thing is, I think a lot of people think that these things can't exist together, but
Yeah,
I enjoyed this scene a lot. But I also was kind of confused and a little annoyed with the plot armor.
Yeah.
So, but I understand that perspective of like her being a kid makes a little bit more sense of like trying to view it from the lens of she's just trying to do what she thinks best, even though like a naivety kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She does strike me as very naive and very much under the influence of a girl who doesn't have it quite all figured out either.
Mm-hmm.
She's not exactly learning from the best role model.
Like this. Oh my god! Look, what are the Noxian soldiers charging at right here?
I assume Warwick, but you would hope. I mean, trying to better position themselves in a sort of flank around Warwick, because I don't think they all want to just charge in head first.
I'm not really sure what this where cause she's running that
they
way.
seem all kind of
No,
scattered,
she's
but...
running there. So Warwick is
Yeah.
that way. Question mark?
Yeah, I assume, or at least the gun is.
She
You know, she like
picks
does
up the
she-
gun
does
and
she
like
already have the gun?
slides to Warwick.
Yeah, so I think that she's at Warwick. Yeah, she's running toward Warwick.
And then they're going. That was a loss. That was a lot of soldiers that should be kicking some ass. But okay, kills herself basically in a really sad ultimate sacrifice. Oh,
She becomes the symbol monkey.
she does become the symbol monkey. She does become the symbol monkey, and there was a moment that I thought was quite beautiful at the end here, when she jams the extra gems into the gun.
Mm-hmm.
And then we have this shot of here. So
Yeah,
maybe
what a cool freak though.
yeah, but
Really well.
maybe I can talk through with chat and you. I think I already did talk to this about you, but chat, maybe you can help me out because I saw something here that was beautiful, but I was really struggling to articulate it. So I'll try my darndest because I have a feeling we can figure it out. So let's think about Aisha, what she represents, and like what she is to the story and to these characters, and let's think about Vander and what he is, and what he represents to these characters, and then having this imagery specifically of a little Aisha with a Warwick, because like if what would you say she's the embodiment of?
I forget, what did I say before? I know we had this conversation. I had her figured out. I couldn't figure out Vander.
Maybe chat will help me.
But like she, I mean, to me, she almost seems like the embodiment of like what Powder could have been.
There you go. I would say that. I'd say she represents like an innocence that was lost too.
Yeah.
Like she represents, or she is kind of that, like a young Powder.
Yeah.
I would say it's fair to put her as like a young, like as Powder, really. And then we have Vander here, who has become this monster, this Warwick creature that's just destroying all of these soldiers around them. And then the poetry of having a Powder-like version, like, because that's how Jinx kind of views her, right? A little bit of herself.
Yeah.
Powder having to kill a monstrous version of her protector, like of Vander. Like that, it almost feels like a full circle, but like a really corrupted, sad, dark circle. In a way. Like killing part of her past that haunts her in a way, but also repeating it in the same time.
This is an exact repeat, almost, you could say.
Yeah.
Of the symbol monkey situation.
Yeah.
Of her overloading with the magic stones and exploding Vander, specifically Vander.
Yep.
But doing it in a much different context and in a much different way that almost makes it a good thing.
I don't know. Does it make it a good thing?
Or tries to sell it as a positive moment. Before it was an extremely positive moment. They were going to escape. They were going to free Vander. They were going like they succeeded in their mission.
Mm-hmm.
Vi, Clagger, and Milo had all succeeded in their mission, and they were going to escape. And then that's when the explosion happened and made everything go wrong. This is a very, very terrible situation being quote I don't want to say being remedied because I don't believe so. Not
No.
completely. I wouldn't call this a good thing, that's for sure.
I mean, we also have, don't
But-
forget, we have Victor's dialogue over this, right? So he's kind of saying how everything leads to this always. It's just part of humanity. Like, it's one side of the same coin, right? Like, compassion and rage. So I think having, oh my god, you know what? It could be, it's like his line, the last line he says, that which inspires us to our greatest good is also the cause of our greatest evil. I mean, you could see Aisha as this like pure, innocent kind of child as the good, and then everything violent
yeah,
about society and everything that's failed them as Warwick.
yeah. I mean, and you could say like her greatest good was trying to sacrifice herself to save them, but it's also her greatest evil in killing Vander. And same thing with Jinx, or same thing with Powder, I guess. Her greatest good was trying to help save Vander and try to help them, like try to help her family and be valuable to Vi. And it was also the cause of her greatest failure, like her greatest evil, which was killing Vander.
Yeah, the cruel irony, as Chris says, the cruel irony of blowing up Vander as a heroic action, as opposed to blowing up Vander as a tragic mistake.
Yeah.
It's like the imagery of a young Powder replica next to a Vander that's not even recognizable anymore, like a monstrous, once was kind of father. It's, yeah, I think it encapsulates a lot of Jinx's story in one picture. So
Yeah.
strong. Vi and Caitlyn get effing incinerated. And then we have like this weird. This is not Arcane. I'm glad I paused on the frame first try because oh my gosh. But this blurry. I haven't done anything. This isn't in 240p. They just
Yeah,
as it
it's
is.
just that's what they did.
It is like there's an explosion, and then there's this like after effect frame freeze.
Yeah.
So this is why people a lot of I hear of theorizing about time.
Timey-wimey stuff.
Timey-wimey
Yeah.
But
So
that's all we got.
yeah, and I don't know whether to agree or disagree. I'm assuming we'll find out, and I'm assuming people are probably right.
I don't know. I'll watch it when I see it. I'll know then.
We'll know in 2 days.
This episode
Which you can stay in 6 hours.
I felt had some things I voiced I was critical of, so I'll be reading through to see how you guys responded to that because I'm genuinely not trying to be negative Nancy. I just didn't find some of the choices characters made sensible.
Yeah,
but-
so we ranted on Caitlyn a little.
We did. We got off Caitlyn and Vi. I went off on Vi, but
Well,
I did find again in the same breath I was able to enjoy this episode for the most part, and the ending was quite emotional. For me, I think the song choice was interesting. I think someone on one of my last streams said that this young girl is Korean, so like it was a Korean song that had played.
it's a Chinese song.
Oh, well, someone in chat told me Korean, so they misled me.
Yeah, I believe the song is Chinese.
Oh, okay, interesting. I wasn't sure at first if I was vibing with it, but then as it went on, I was vibing with it. Overall, though, I'd still say I think my favorite episode was last episode so far. I really enjoyed that one quite a bit, and I'm also sad because I think Victor's dead.
I don't think so. I think you don't need to be sad.
Well, he's not going to exist in the physical plane, you think, or do you think he will?
I think he will. I just don't think he'll exist in the same form. I think in the same way that Oriana is going to be rebuilt, I guess. Like the same way that Oriana exists is the same way that Victor will exist.
Oh,
I think that is the solution.
Deli just wants Aisha back. That's so sweet.
Real.
Well, I appreciate, Chris, that you're trying hard to like help us look at it because it really is tough. I think I'm not like 100% sure what was happening with their plan.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm
And
really not sure about that plan.
there's a timestamp we have. Let's see. Do you mind reading that one with a timestamp?
Uh, did you guys notice that Vi returns to the commune to tell Jinx about the plan at 25:21? And yet Kate was surprised to see her. Also, if Rictus had stayed in the tent with Ambessa, Vi would die. Did she return to the commune? Circle?
I went back and forth in my head about that because she said verbally, I have a plan, trust me, but I wasn't sure who she was saying that to. Well,
I'm sorry. Who said that? I have a plan. Trust me.
why? I said that.
Okay, sorry. Yeah, I didn't have my.
Oh, she said, I have a plan, you're not gonna like it.
Huh. I honestly.
But either way, she should have told Caitlyn that Jinx is gonna be there because she knows that, like, Caitlyn goes feral for Jinx. You know, the last time she saw her, she almost killed Jinx if she didn't stop her. Anyway, this was fun. We will be doing our next stream for episode 7 Sunday at 6 EST. I hope to see you there because it is the end of it all, and I will be needing all of the emotional support I can get. And hopefully, it's good things to say. Yeah, maybe it'll just be like the bestest thing ever, right?
Yeah. Everything Ralph fine, and every single one of our questions and critiques gets absolutely answered.
Yeah.
I appreciate that. You know, the
Totally.
writers are so good at their job. I get it.
Yeah. And maybe Victor comes out of my screen and says that, Silly, the way that you talked about my character was the best, and join me in the glorious evolution, and I go become one with the space goo.
Yep.
Yeah.
The space goo.